Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex as we get set for first pitch in a new season. It's great to have you with us here today. Michael Watrang with you and our entire crew as Carson-Newman opens the 2023 campaign against the Mars Hill Lions here in a non-conference game. Mason Mooney, the senior from San Jose, California, is ready to go. And the right-hander's first pitch of the year is in there on the inside corner for a called strike. And we are underway at exactly 1 o'clock. Great to have you with us. A chilly day at the ballpark. Mooney's 0-1 offering misses in the dirt, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Cloudy overhead. It's been raining the last 3 days. It poured last night, but good enough to get things rolling here today. 41 degrees, your game time temp. The 1-1 is a breaking ball that snaps at the knees for a called strike. It's 1-2. Mooney, a year ago, appeared in 15 games, was one of the more often used pitchers on this roster. He comes ready with a 1-2 pitch. Another breaking ball, this one laid off by Luke Hayes, the starting shortstop for this Lions club. This is a Mars Hill team under new leadership. Zach Honeycutt in his first season, the former Lion. The break-even pitch now from Mooney is a high pop-up. Straightaway center field. Dalton McLean, the Walters State transfer, underneath it. He makes the grab. 1 up, 1 down in the first inning of the year. Carson-Newman defensively, very much a new look overall. It's Ryan Potts in left, Dalton McLean in center, Henry Jackson in right. Ben Wilcoxon gets the nod at third, Aiden Gibson at short, William Gibbs at second, James Denton at first, and Mitchell Ballant behind the plate. And Mooney now ready to go to work on Alex Narin, and a first pitch changeup dots the inner half for a called strike. Right-hand pitcher ready to go, and here's the offering, and it is a breaking ball down and away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the first inning. And the right-hander kicks and fires, and it's a line drive hit into right field. Jackson racing back all the way to the warning track. He leaps into the air, loses his hat in the process, and makes the catch to retire Narin. Nice play by Jackson. Had to trace a long way back on an opposite field shot by Narin, and he's able to make the grab, and there's 2 away. So 2 outs and nobody on. Here comes Jordan Lathe, one of the holdovers of this group. Carson-Newman looking for a 1-2-3 inning to start off this game as Mooney misses downstairs to Lathe. 1 ball and no strikes. 9 pitches here in the first, and trying to make it an efficient inning and not have to deal with the first team all-conference pick, Zach Weaver. The 1-0 is a high fly ball hit out to shallow left center. McLean now trots back towards straightaway center, and the center fielder has it to end the inning. That is an 10 pitch opening inning for Mason Mooney. Excellent start on the hill for the Eagles. How do things work when the Eagles come to the plate? It's Jackson, McLean, and Ballant heading to the bat rack as the Eagles get their first chance of the 2023 season. We come back on the Eagle Sports Network.
Purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Well, it's a great start for Carson-Newman on the mound as Mason Mooney throws 10 pitches and retires the side in order in the first, getting 3 flyouts. And now here comes Carson-Newman's offense to the plate to face off with a right-hander in Jake Wagner. The right-hander is a junior, 6 feet tall, from Greensboro, North Carolina. And he gets the ball from Coach Zach Honeycutt to begin this ball game. Carson-Newman will climb into the batter's box, and it's Henry Jackson, who had a terrific campaign again last year. 3 straight years in which he has finished with a 300 or better batting average. Good crowd in attendance for this chilly ball game, and Carson-Newman looking for a 6th consecutive win over the Lions here today. It'll be right-hand pitcher and right-hand batter to lead us off in the bottom of the first, and let's see if this Eagle offense, with a bunch of fresh faces, can get to work here. Wagner coming set. He'll work out of the stretch. Pristine white shoes, kicks and fires, and a foul ball straight back. And out of play over our heads for strike 1. Really nice shoes out there, and with the turf infield, don't have too much to worry about with any mud for the pitcher Wagner as he holds the glove around his left shoulder. Now comes set to the high right. The pitch is right down the middle and zips one in there, and he gets ahead of Henry Jackson at no balls and 2 strikes. Well, Carson-Newman graduating that cohort of outfielders in Gunnar Ricketts, Jordan Griffin, who is now the first base coach. The 0-1. Jackson swings and skies it right side of the infield. Stepping to the outfield grass is Weaver, backpedaling to make the catch and retire Jackson. And there's one away here in the bottom of the first inning. So pop out to second base, and now here comes the right-handed hitting Dalton McClain, who was a steady force in Walter State's lineup a year ago, the #1 team in junior college. The pitch, way down and away. Wagner yanks it nearly all the way to the backstop. Ball 1. McClain hit right in the middle to lower portion of the lineup for Walter State last season, the 1-0. This is downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Eagles brought in some talented transfers and some transfers that had successful seasons overall. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. He shows bunt, and he takes a strike as he backs away. Well, Carson-Newman had such pop and power a year ago. 50 home runs for the group. Speed, perhaps, a big key to this year's group. The 2-1 stays high on a breaking ball. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Dalton McClain, the native of Greenville, Tennessee. It's from the right-hand side, pretty narrow stance and a little bit of a waggle to it. 3-1 pitch. Hits the inside corner for a called strike, and the string runs out here at 3-2. We're scoreless in the bottom of the first inning, 1 out and nobody on. Carson-Newman looking to scratch the surface first. And here comes the payoff pitch from Wagner, and McClain strikes out swinging. Got a fastball in the inner half and couldn't catch up to it. Wagner fans the right-hand hitter, and with 2 outs and nobody on, it brings Mitchell Ballot to the plate. Transfer from Rowan, began his career at Delaware, and boy, was he a force down the stretch for Rowan, a team that also qualified for the Junior College National Championship. Played at Pioneer Park, where Carson-Newman will be next week. First pitch from Wagner. Ballot rips it foul up the third base line, and it's 1 strike and nothing. Ballot drove in 73 runs a year ago, homered 9 times. Carson-Newman's catchers have always been great behind the plate, and the offense has been there as well, dating back to the days of Ethan Goforth and Greg Jones before that. The 0-1. Bounces in the dirt, low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. And, of course, he had Matt Parkinson the last 2 years, cranked 14 homers. He wore number 19. That's what Ballot is wearing this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Wagner, and Ballot lays off of a breaking ball that hits the inner edge. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Carson-Newman softball's playing up the road against Concord right now. The basketball teams will play later on tonight. Busy day at Mossy Creek. 1-2 pitch. Ballot strikes out swing. Fastball over the plate. He's down swinging. And the pitchers with the upper hand after the opening inning. Carson-Newman goes down in order. Wagner does his job. And we're scoreless through an inning here at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex. Mooney back to work after a 10-pitch first with the Eagles and Lions scoreless here on the Eagles Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long, from the morning with their $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Well, both pitchers toss a scoreless 1-2-3 opening inning. And now here in the second frame, heart of the order due up for each side. And beginning things off is Zach Weaver for the Lions. He was a first-team all-conference pick a year ago. Just a terrific year. 12 home runs, 45 RBIs, and a .321 batter. And the right-hander Mooney into his motion, and his first pitch is a breaking ball that misses low to Weaver for ball one. Field looks pretty good for the rain that has pelted the area the last few days as Mooney misses again inside with another breaking ball down around the shoelaces. 2 balls, no strikes. A little bit of some burnt colors out there with the green grass in the outfield. 2-0 pitch is a rocket hit out to left center field. Weaver heaves the bat to the bench, and it leaves the yard just inside of the uppercut of the wall and straightaway center. Weaver picks up where he left off last year, and it's 1-0 Lions. Well, it's a 2-0 pitch out over the plate, and Weaver does not miss at it. Solo blast to straightaway center, and it's a 1-0 ball game. And now Mooney will deal with Dawson Connell. Another right-hand hitter, and the first pitch to him is a foul ball back into the screen for strike one. Connell, 6'2", 185, a junior from Waxhaw, North Carolina. Open stance for the right-hand hitter. And the one-strike pitch from Mooney is a bouncer off of the plate, foul. And Mooney gets ahead at no balls and 2 strikes. Carson-Newman's biggest issue a year ago, the long ball. Granted, if you're going to give him up, you might as well do it with nobody on. And Mooney locked in the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Good fastball up and in. And Mooney blows it by Connell for his first punch out of the day. And that's exactly one you want to see out of a fifth-year senior. Give up a long ball, come right back with the 3-pitch strikeout. And now Trey Putnam, left-hand hitter. 1-0 Lions in the second, and the first pitch drifts out over the left-hand side of the plate for ball one. Putnam, a left-hand hitter here at the bottom of the lineup. The 1-0 pitch. He slaps it down the left field line, slicing foul. Well, if that ball stays fair, could have been trouble. In the wet grass in the outfield, that ball certainly had any chance of dying down the line, and Putnam could have been off to the races. Instead, it's a foul ball, and the count even here at 1 ball and 1 strike. Lions lead at 1-0. Weaver's leadoff homer in the second. Mooney's 1-1 pitch. Putnam fouls it straight back, and Mooney gets ahead at 1-2. Well, here's the big question for Carson-Newman this season on the mound. Matt Bradley had one of the best years that Carson-Newman pitchers could have asked for a year ago. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Putnam loops it, third base side. Wilcoxon gives chase. Does he have room? He leaps on the fence, and he does not as it goes out of play. He was such a steady force on the mound. Carson-Newman finished 28-9 in his career when he was the starting pitcher in a game. one of the best in the country a season ago. He graduates. Braden Cohen, All-American, graduates, the 1-2. Putnam bounces it back up the middle. Right to William Gibbs at second base. He scoops it and throws over to first base to get the second out of the inning. So after the home run, a strikeout and a ground out. Now here's the catcher, Trevor Bailey. Weaver solo home run here in the second inning has the Lions ahead 1-0. 2 outs and nobody on. Another left-hand hitter at the plate in Trevor Bailey. We'll dig into the batter's box. Left foot first, then the right. And Mooney's first pitch is a high fly ball down the left field line. Foul. And then out of the bullpen, Ryan Smithson led the team in pitching appearances. He graduates. And that is a lot of firepower that the Eagles lose, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. All the way down to a knee goes Bailey. And it's 0-2. And Carson-Newman also dealing with a little bit of a setback for Jake Wright. Won't be available this week for the Eagles. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball up and away. And a good bounce back inning at the end of it all by Mason Mooney. He strikes out 2 in the frame. But the leadoff home run by Zach Weaver has the Lions ahead 1-0. Carson-Newman will send Bose, Denton, and Gibson to the plate in the bottom of the second inning, trailing it 1-0 here on the Eagle Sports Network.
My name is Cadet Amber Calvio. I'm in the 278th in the Army National Guard, and I currently go to Carson-Newman. I joined the Tennessee Army National Guard for the experience mainly, so I can say that I'm a part of something totally bigger than myself.
Text 278-ACR to 70000 to join the Tennessee Army National Guard. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
Zach Weaver's solo home run to lead off the top of the second inning has Mars Hill on top 1-0 in the season opener. And now it'll be the Eagles to step to the plate. Zach Bose will dig in, a career-high 11 homers a year ago. And he steps into the batter's box with Carson-Newman down 1-0 in the second. Right-hand pitcher, Wagner back to work in his first pitch. Bose swings, hits a drive to deep left field, all the way back to the fence, Nairn, and that one is out of here. First pitch swinging. Zach Bose, a long ball, and we're tied at 1. Well, Bose made no mistake about that. And now as a senior, can he carry the offensive load for this group? 1-1 game here in the second, and now James Denton will dig in. Left-hand hitter swings the first pitch, slashes it down the left field line. Long run for Nairn, still going. Will not be able to catch up to it. Denton a big turn, but Nairn got to it quickly. Gets it back to the infield, and it's a base hit for James Denton down the left field line. And Carson-Newman in business here in the second inning. Now, this is what the Eagles were so good at a year ago. They might get punched a couple times, but they have the answer. Eagles played a boatload of close games last season. And with Denton now at first base, in steps Aiden Gibson. Gibson, a rookie from Cleveland, Tennessee, in a 1-1 game in the second. Wagner works from the stretch and pitches with a slide step and drops a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Well, I mentioned the speed of some of these transfers that Carson-Newman brought in this season. Denton didn't have a big year stolen base-wise last year, but 2 years ago was 11 for 12. Let's see if the Eagles elect to be aggressive at all. 1-1 game in the second. The 0-1 from Wagner coming up. Long hold, the pitch. Gibson squares the bunt, backs away, and takes the ball just down. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wagner's been in and around the zone. 12 of his first 17 pitches have been strikes. And with Carson-Newman and Morris Hill deadlocked at 1 here in the second. A runner at first and nobody out. The 1-1. Bouncing ball off the plate, then the body of Gibson for a foul ball. It's 1-2. Now think about Tom Griffin and the task that he has this season. You could pencil in the likes of Killian Daughtry, Andrew Carpenter, Matt Parkinson, Micah Genter, Jordan Griffin, Gunnar Ricketts. For the last 2-3 years, knew that those guys would be out there. It's a different look to this year's team. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's way down and away. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And on top of that, Carson-Newman's preseason all-conference selection, Harrison Travis, unavailable at the beginning of this season. And with those injuries that Carson-Newman has, and on top of that, no Trey Miller today, the transfer shortstop for the Eagles. That's why Gibson's in the lineup. The 2-2 misses down. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Good AB here by the rookie. A home run from Bose, a base hit from Denton. And now the string runs out here at 3-2. Tied at 1, bottom of the second inning. What does Wagner turn to here? Opens the shoulders up to glance at Denton. Big hole right side of the infield. Here's the payoff pitch. Runner takes off. Gibson pushes it foul, out of play, off of first base. And the count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's a good crowd here today, and fans continuing to file in around the ballpark to check out Carson-Newman here to start off this 2023 season. It'll be a very interesting year in this league this season. Here's the payoff pitch, and another foul ball into the net first base side. I mean, if you look back at last season, and both teams will shudder at the thought of the conference tournament last year, Mars Hill had a 6-0 lead going to the 7th inning against Catawba. They led 6-2 going to the 9th. Gave up 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th to send it to extras. Here's the payoff pitch, and a swing and a looping ball down the right field line. That's dropping in for a base hit. Around second and heading to third is Denton. Gibson's hustling to second base. Finally, Putnam gets a paw to it. He gets it back in, but it's a double for Aiden Gibson, his first career hit. And the Eagles with runners at second and third base with nobody out. Great at bat by Gibson. Eight-pitch sequence for Gibson ends in a double. And now it's Ryan Potts coming to the plate. First base open, corner infield will come in. And in a 1-1 game in the second inning, Carson-Newman with a chance to break the door down and get its first lead of the year. Wagner coming set. Here's the pitch, and it's a fastball right down Broadway for strike 1. Going back to that game, Mars Hill, the 8th seed, playing 5th-seeded Catawba, the perennial champs in this league. They lost the game on a failed pickoff to first base in the bottom of the 10th. Runners at the corners, 1 out, and for some reason they threw over and threw it down the line. The 0-1 pitch. Potts fouls it back, and it's 0-2. Carson-Newman on the other side after beating LMU 2-0. Thanks to throwing out a runner at the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning in the single elimination game. The Eagles had a lead on the number 1 team in the country, Wingate, going into the 9th. Led it 4-2. Matt Cole shutting down the Bulldogs again. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That drifts out of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carson-Newman had a great opportunity in that game against Brody McCullough, an All-American and a future MLB draft pick. Eagles had the lead, a 4-run third inning. Here's the 1-2. On the inside corner, and it's strike 3 called on Potts. Potts, I think, maybe thought it was a tad inside, but unable to protect, and that's the third punch out now for Wagner. And now it brings William Gibbs to the plate. Only Central transfer will step into the batter's box in a 1-1 game with runners at second and third base and 1 out. Corner infield still in, the first pitch. On the outside corner for a called strike. Finish up on that Wingate game. Bulldogs scored 3 in the 9th inning. Got the first 2 aboard and a walk-off winner by Andrew McKay. And then the Eagles were eliminated the next day by Newberry. The 0-1 pitch, well outside, and a good play by Bailey to make sure that it doesn't go to the backstop. But overall, the point is, you had an 8 seed and a 7 seed that had some of the top teams in the conference on the ropes in the conference tournament. Lenore-Ride eventually won it, winning twice on the final day against Wingate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And here's a bouncing ball, third base side foul. 1-2. And when you think about this region, Wingate the national champs 2 years ago, North Greenville winning the national championship last year. So this region playing as good a baseball as there is in the entire country the last couple of years. Bringing home the big hardware. 1-2 the count. Here to Gibbs. The pitch. Gibbs pushes it down the right field line. This will stay foul as Putnam gave chase. Well, this is a lengthy inning for Wagner. Still only 1 out. But after getting that punch out of Potts, he's in the driver's seat now to William Gibbs with Ben Wilcoxon in the on-deck circle. The right-hand pitcher coming set. He pauses and pitches. And Gibbs hits one down the right field line. This one will hook just foul. And we'll do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eagles have had some really high-quality at-bats in this inning. And when you look back at last year, as a team, solid with runners in scoring position, but certainly one of the arguments that the club would make is in opportunities like this, maybe not always as successful as they needed to be. 1-2. Gibbs pushes it right side through the infield and into right field for a base hit. Denton is in to score. The outfielder overruns it. Putnam in to score Gibson. Hustling to third base is Gibbs. He's in there safely. The Eagles lead it 3-1. So it's a 2-run single for Gibbs. 4th hit of the inning, and Carson-Newman leads 3-1. Good piece of hitting through the right side of the infield. And then the error in right allows Gibbs to motor to third. And here's the first pitch to Wilcoxon. He squares to bunt and takes the ball. One 0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. To Wilcoxon. Limited action a year ago. And the 1-1 count brings plateward. Wilcoxon tries to bunt this time around and unable to make contact. And it's 1-2. He gets the start at third base today. Last year he started early in the season as well. Drew a couple walks in the first couple games of the year. And then played mostly a reserve role. 3-1 ball game here in the second. Eagles have scored 3 times. The 1-2. Pushed back up the middle and into right center field. That is a base hit. Wilcoxon delivers. Gibbs in from third base. Carson-Newman has scored 4 times in the second and leads 4-1. Will Coxon with a good piece of hitting. Got a pitch, down and away, able to drive it into the outfield. Eagles have scored 4 times in the inning on 5 hits, and here's Henry Jackson. He takes low for ball 1. Home run from Bose, single by Denton, double by Gibson. Strikeout of Potts, the base hit and 2-base error for Gibbs, and then Will Coxon a base knock. 7th man of the inning at the plate. 1-0, Jackson misses inside on this pitch. Does Wagner, and it's 2-0. This is certainly what Carson-Newman could do this year, is apply a great deal of pressure. Being able to shovel the ball around the ballpark, make contact. 2-0 the count. Wagner settles. He pitches, and a breaking ball twists down and in for ball 3. He's up to 40 pitches now in the game, and that was after an economical opening frame in which he faced the minimum, struck out 2. Bullpen getting up and rolling. Here's the 3-0. That's down and away. Skidded across the dirt. Base on balls to Jackson. Still only 1 man out here in the second. And the Eagles will have him at first and second base with Dalton McClain coming to the plate. So 2 men on, 1 out, and Carson-Newman scoring 4 times in the inning. Here comes Honeycutt to the mound. And he'll have a quick conversation with his pitcher, Zach Honeycutt. Played at Mars Hill in the early 2010s. Had a couple different stops, one at Lander. Was an assistant for the last couple years under Hunter Bryant, who has since moved on. Took over a high school coaching job in North Carolina. Four runs on 5 base hits here in the inning. And on a chilly day at the ballpark and an overcast afternoon as well. The Eagles have answered after Zach Weaver hit a solo home run in the top half of this inning to lead off the inning. Mason Mooney is still retired 6 of the first 7 that he's faced. And now the 8th man of the inning to come to the plate. And Wagner has had a conversation with his catcher Bailey and now his manager Honeycutt. And with 1 out and 2 men on, here's McClain. Let's see what Wagner can do. 40 pitches deep into his outing. Can he bounce back? Corner infield pinched in. Wagner kicks and fires, and McClain takes a fastball high and tight for ball 1. Well, Carson-Newman has won 10 consecutive home openers. In fact, since they joined the D2 ranks in 1994, Carson-Newman is 25-4 in their first home game of the year. 1 ball, no strikes. Right-hander pitches, and McClain loops one foul territory that is caught by the first baseman, Connell. That was a jam shot by McClain. And a weak pop-up in foul ground for the 2nd out of the inning. And now Mitchell Ballant will step to the plate with 2 men on and 2 outs. 4 runs in and a 4-1. Carson-Newman leading the second. Here's the right-hander Wagner coming set. He pitches, and Ballant skies it. Left side of the infield. Who's going to take charge here? Third baseman Sykes has it in his sights. He backpedals on the grass, makes the catch, and that ends the inning. But the Eagles bat around for the first time this year. They score 4 times in the opening frame, or in the second frame. And the Eagles have given Mason Mooney a 4-1 lead to work with. We go to the 3rd. Mooney's retired 6 of the first 7. How does he respond after the Eagles give him a 3-run pad here on the Eagles Sports Network?
My name is Cadet Amber Calvio. I'm in the 278th in the Army National Guard, and I currently go to Carson-Newman. I joined the Tennessee Army National Guard for
Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
Mason Mooney has a 4-1 lead to work with as he comes back to the mound to pitch here in the third. And first pitch swing, Chris Bleeker grounds to third. Wilcoxon gobbles it up and makes a good throw across the diamond to retire Bleeker on just one pitch. It was a tough hop there for Wilcoxon, kind of caught in between and was able to backpedal, get the glove down in front of his waistband and make the play. Mooney's retired 4 straight since the homer, and his first pitch to the right-hand hitting Chad Sykes is a rope down the left field line that bounces in fair ground and rolls to the wall. Heading to second base, Sykes, and he'll be in there sliding with a 1-out double. Good piece of hitting by Sykes, ambushing that first pitch, and a lot of these hitters have been alert quickly in at bats. 25 pitches for Mooney. Second hit he's allowed, and with Carson-Newman leading at 4-1 in the third, here's Luke Hayes. Right-hand pitcher delivers, and Hayes dribbles one out towards second base. Good sliding stop by Gibbs to his left. He gets to his feet on the outfield grass and throws out Hayes. 3 pitches, 2 outs, and the runner does advance over to third base in Sykes. That was a fine play by Gibbs. It was a cue ball shot. Hit out to him at second. He went to his left, slid, and was able to pick it up, get to his feet, and make the play in plenty of time. So runner at third base with 2 outs. And here's Alex Nairn. Flew out to right his first time up. Here's the pitch from Mooney. And it's a good breaking ball, snapping it down to the knees. 1 strike and nothing to count. Mason Mooney will have his say at being a starter for this team this year. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And it's a bouncing ball foul to the left-hand side. Count moves to no balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, runner at third base. Carson-Newman leads it 4-1 thanks to a 4-run second. 2-run knock from William Gibbs in the inning. No balls, 2 strikes. Mooney pauses. Now he pitches, and that's a fastball that zips way over the top of the head of the right-hand hitting Nairn. Very, very little wind, if any at all, here at the park today. That's a good sign for the Eagles. The 1-2. Another fastball misses high. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes on the 30th pitch of the day for Mooney. Carson-Newman on top by 3 runs in the third. Trying to keep it at that with a runner at third base and 2 outs. Mooney pauses, glances to third base, lifts the leg and pitches. And a breaking ball this time drifts down and away. So from 0-2 to 3-2. And with 2 outs, it'll be a payoff pitch from Mooney. Alex Nairn. A runner at third base, Sykes, after a 1-out double. 4-1 Eagles here in the 3rd inning. Mooney ready to go. He pitches, and it's a breaking ball that just missed high. Mooney thought that he had strike 3. Didn't get the call. And that puts the tying run into the batter's box, and Jordan Lathe. First base on balls issued by Mooney in the game. And with 2 outs and runners at the corners, Lathe flew out to center his first time up. Carson-Newman 4, Mars Hill 1. Eagles looking for a 6th straight win over the Lions. Righty on right-hand batter. Here's the first pitch, and it's a fastball up and in. That's 5 consecutive out of the zone for Mason Mooney. Typically a strike thrower in his time, the 5'11", 217-pound senior. West Valley Community College transfer. Has thrown North of 80 innings in his career at Carson-Newman. 1-0. High fly ball, rope down the left field line. This will be foul the entire way as it goes out of play. Counts at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mooney pitched last year in one of the 2 games against Mars Hill. 2 2/3 scoreless innings got the win as the Eagles won both of those games, 9-5 and 13-9 in the 2 affairs in the Tar Heel State. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mooney lifts the leg. He picks to third, but back safely as Sykes as Will Coxon was sneaking in around him. Well, one thing you can be sure of at any time this year is Carson-Newman will try to steal some outs whenever they can. Always have the trick plays in the back pocket to get outs. The 1-1. Grounded to third base. Will Coxon picks it up even with the bag. Scoots twice, throws to first, and that ends the inning. 2 nice plays by Will Coxon. He comes up strong. Mooney strands a pair, and we are through 2.5. And Carson-Newman is in control. 4-1 the lead. Eagles will get another crack at it. It'll be the same spot of the lineup that kick-started a 4-run rally in the second. Bose leads us off when we come back to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex in a moment on the Eagles Sports Network.
At InterDigital, we strive to be a leading provider of cutting-edge digital and marketing solutions. At InterDigital, we want to help our clients find success. Our team of technology gurus work together to ensure InterDigital continues to progress forward as technology advances. At InterDigital, we make technology work for you. Visit interdigital.com for IT support, web development, virtual tours, graphic design, internet marketing, mobile app, and film production services.
InterDigital, laser focused on your success.
Serving East Tennessee for 40 years, Magaha Electric is the perfect choice for all your electrical projects. Magaha Electric specializes in commercial, retail, manufacturing, residential, and industrial contracting needs. Magaha Electric can provide superior service, technical know-how, and realistic budgeting for any size project in a timely, cost-effective manner. Visit MagahaElectric.com for all your electrical contracting needs. Magaha Electric, your East Tennessee electrical contracting source.
Carson-Newman's off to a solid start in the season opener here in 2023. Zach Bose homered on the first pitch of the second. He climbs in here in the third with the Eagles leading at 4-1. Wagner back to work. He sits at 44 pitches. And his first offering of this inning buzzes the tower of Bose for ball 1. That ball came high and tight to Bose, brushing him back. Eagles a big inning in the second. How do they respond here in the third? Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bose pulls it to third base underneath the glove of Sykes. Rolls into the outfield. Bose is aboard. That'll be an error on Sykes. Looks pretty routine. On a ground ball. Should have been backhanded by Sykes. Instead, cannot come up with the play. Second inning with an error. And now James Denton, who had a base hit an inning ago. Eagles lead at 4-1 here in the third. Wagner ready to go as he lifts the leg and pitches. Denton takes downstairs. Bose is hung up between first and second. Now takes off for second, and he's going to get in there as the ball is dropped by the shortstop Hayes. Well, that was an excuse me stolen base for Zach Bose. I don't know if he just lost the ball from the catcher Bailey. He saw it bounce in the dirt, and I don't know if he just thought that maybe Bailey didn't collect it and was hung out to dry. Bailey threw it down to second base, but it was well short. And now the pitch to Denton, who squares to bunt and fouls it straight back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. And because Bailey's throw was in the dirt, it forced Hayes, the shortstop, to try to scoop it up. And on the turf, it should be a pretty friendly bounce. But he was unable to glove it. Otherwise, they would have had Bose by a couple steps, and the Eagles get bailed out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Denton just tried to bunt. Corner infield is in. Wagner checks on Bose. Now he pitches. Denton squares to bunt. He backs away. Bailey wanted an appeal and now does get one. And indeed, Denton able to lay off. 2 balls, 1 strike. Carson-Newman leads it 4-1 and threatening again here in the third. Wagner readies and pitches, and Denton lays off of a fastball up and away, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Mars Hill has the gray uniforms on today. Blue hats with the MHU Lion logo on the front, MHU in gold, the Lion white and blue, and the numbering on the front and the back is in blue with white trim. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Denton skies it foul down the left field line, and the count now runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. MHU across the chest with the blue Adidas sneakers and blue long sleeve shirts for a good chunk of these Mars Hill players. Carson-Newman leads 4-1. Bottom of the third inning. Nobody out. Bose is out at second base. And here comes the payoff pitch from Wagner to Denton. He swings and fouls it straight back. Well, after a very pitch-efficient opening inning, it has been anything but that the last inning plus for Wagner. He's up to now 52 pitches on the day. Carson-Newman's offense looks settled. Here's a pickoff throw back to second base, and that one goes into center field. And Bose will take off for third, and the defense has just been a nightmare for this Lion group in this last inning. Plus, this will be a failed pickoff attempt. And an error on the pitcher. And now the runner 90 feet away. Corner infield in, middle infield stays back. And here's the payoff. Denton takes inside. There's ball 4. Another high-quality at-bat by Carson-Newman hitters. And it brings Aiden Gibson to the plate. And he had a great 8-pitch sequence an inning ago before doubling down the right field line. Carson-Newman 4. Mars Hill 1. And out of the dugout comes Zach Honeycutt. And I'm going to imagine that's going to be the end of the line for Wagner. And it'll be a call to the bullpen to make a change here. I'd have to imagine, after he'd drawn a couple conversations from both Honeycutt and Bailey in the last inning. No official sign yet. Now they make the move. So with Carson-Newman leading at 4-1 here in the third. Runners at the corners and nobody out. Mars Hill goes to the pen. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network.
Don't know what to wear on game day? Head over to shopseeandeagles.com for all of your Carson-Newman athletics gear. You can find clothing from Adidas, Columbia, Nike, and Under Armour to cover you from head to toe. Shopseeandeagles.com also has duffel bags, backpacks, jewelry, pet supplies, and gifts. Don't waste any more time. Prove you are the ultimate Carson-Newman fan with the official gear of the Eagles at shopseeandeagles.com. Visit today.
I joined the Guard for the simple fact that I could be home and also in the military. So I can have a civilian job and also in the military. I would tell somebody who's trying to join the Guard and thinking about it that it's a great opportunity. Opportunities for school, training, discipline, leadership. There's a lot of opportunities. It broadens your perspective.
Text 278-ACR to 70000 to join the Tennessee Army National Guard.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Looking to make your home more comfortable and affordable? Maybe a new electric heat pump or a new attic installation? And don't forget new doors and windows. AEC is here to help. We've got a quality contractor network, easy financing, and ANC inspects every job to assure the highest quality satisfaction. website at aecoop.org for application, contractor list, and more details. AEC, where power with purpose.
When you're sick and tired of fast food and need a fresh home-cooked meal, turn to Lisa's Country Kitchen. Lisa's been cooking up her fresh, never frozen food for the Lakeway area for more than 15 years. Lisa's cares about her customers. You may enter a stranger, but you'll leave a friend. From foot-long hot dogs to juicy steaks, Lisa's has the best food for the best prices.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Zach Honeycutt turns the ball over to a right-hander in Connor Presnell. Presnell 5'11", 165 from Stockbridge, Georgia, on in relief with runners at the corners and nobody out. And the first pitch to Aiden Gibson misses down and in for ball one. Presnell a year ago appeared in 16 games, had a couple saves in 34 innings. He struck out 37 and finished with an ERA of 6.09, was the number 2 strikeout pitcher on the roster a season ago in terms of Ks per 9. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Runner takes off from first. They throw it down to the shortstop, and that'll be a stolen base. Looks like the Eagles were trying a little bit of a hit and run. Denton took off, and the shortstop, Hayes, just came right in, and the throw was closer to his position than it would be towards the bag. So the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Eagles lead at 4-1. Presnell pitches, and a slider misses down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. This is a Mars Hill pitching staff that really struggled with location a year ago. 215th in the country in walks per 9 innings. Nearly 6 per game. 2-1 the count. Presnell readies. He pitches, and Gibson pushes it foul down the first baseline. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, here at the early part of the year, both sides really just trying to find their footing. And at the beginning of the season, with a bunch of roster turnover, trying to figure out who those guys are going to be. Carson-Newman coach Tom Griffin said it last week. Starting lineup, day 1 is going to look very different than day 50. 2-2 pitch is a strike. It looked like Gibson tried to hold up on it, checked his swing, didn't do so in time. So he's down swinging, and the runners have to stay put at second and third base. And with 1 out and 2 men on, here's Ryan Potts, who didn't join into the party in the last inning, striking out looking. So with 1 out and 2 men aboard, here's Potts. Second stolen base of the inning for the Eagles as well. The pitch way outside. It goes to the backstop, bangs off the bricks. Now Bose is caught on a rundown. Denton is over to third base, and Bose will be tagged out. Bose took off, but in this park, there's no room behind the plate. And Bose was aggressive, and it was a good play by Bailey as it banged off the bricks behind the dish. And he'll be caught stealing, officially 2 unassisted. So with the count of 1-0, here's the pitch to Potts, and he swings and lines it into center field, sinking in a hurry, picking up some dirt on its way through. Denton is in to score from third. Potts delivers with 2 outs, and the Eagles take a 5-1 lead. Good piece of hitting by Potts on a 1-1 pitch. So now here comes the right-handed hitting, William Gibbs, and he takes a first pitch strike. Carson-Newman leads 5-1. Right-hander brings it up there, and a bunt attempt from Gibbs, third base side. This will fall to the ground, roll foul. If that ball stayed fair, Gibbs would have been aboard. So with the count at no balls and 2 strikes, the right-hander comes set. Here's the pitch. Misses downstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Two outs and a runner at first base and a run in. The pitch, there goes Potts, and here's a bouncer to third base. Picked up by Sykes on the grass, throws it to first, and that ends the inning. But Carson-Newman adds another run. Eagles have scored 5 in the last 2 innings and lead it 5-1 as we go to the 4th here on the Eagles Sports Network.
Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
AEC is a distributor for Marathon energy-efficient water heaters. We offer 30-gallon to 105-gallon tanks. Marathon water heaters are durable, lightweight, and warranted not to leak as long as you own your home. Foam insulation allows these thermal storage units to provide long-lasting temperature control. Marathon's lightweight tank is easier to maneuver and position. And the bowl-shaped tank bottom allows complete sediment draining. AEC, we're power with purpose.
Mason Mooney has a 4-run lead to work with. 5-1 as Mars Hill steps to the plate, and he'll deal with Zach Weaver, who launched a solo home run in the 2nd inning. Lone run support for the Lions. And here in the 4th, Mooney starts Weaver with a breaking ball that he tomahawks down the left field line over a leaping Wilcoxon and down in the corner. Weaver hustles around first. He's over to second base, his 2nd extra base hit of the day, and he's only seen a couple pitches. That is a good piece of hitting and a big reason why he was a first-team all-conference pick a year ago. So a leadoff double from Weaver. The Eagles have not had an answer for him yet. Many teams did not have an answer for him last year. Now here's Dawson Connell, who struck out in the 2nd. 5-1 Eagles in the 4th. Mooney readies and fires, and Connell pops it up. Right side of the infield, circling is Gibbs on the outfield grass, and the second baseman hauls it in. 2 pitches again for Mooney to get the first out. Well, Mars Hill just continues to swing early and often in these counts, and with Mooney having that reputation of a strike thrower, Mars Hill content with swinging early and often. Here's Trey Putnam, grounded to second base, his lone time up. Weaver at 2nd, Carson-Newman 5, Mars Hill 1 in the 4th. Righty on left-hand batter, Mooney twists the ball behind his back and too long for the liking of Putnam. And time call. Lions picked 8th in the preseason poll, exactly where they finished a year ago, 9-14 in league play. Mooney pitches. And that one misses outside on a fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. The next pitch of the day will be just the 40th of the afternoon for Mason Mooney. Very pitch efficient. He's ready to go from the first base side of the slab. Lifts the leg and pitches and bounces one up there. Good play by Ballant behind the plate. 2-0. Field playing fairly shallow and slanted towards the left field side. 2 balls, no strikes. Mooney has the sign and pitches. And a curveball is flown down the left field line. Long run for Potts, still giving chase all the way over into the hitting cages down there. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike to count with 1 out and a runner at second base. When you look at Mars Hill a year ago, it was a monster issue on the road. They were a solid home team at 12-10, but just 6-19 away from home. And they hit 235 and averaged 5 runs per game on the road last season. Here comes a 2-1 pitch from Mooney. Breaking ball, misses up and away. Ballant thought about a throw to second base, but decides to eat it. Counts at 3-1. Wind maybe picking up a little bit, pushing out to right field on a chilly and overcast afternoon. Mooney coming set. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew it past Putnam, and the count runs full at 3-2. Mooney hasn't been in a lot of 3-ball counts today. Did issue a 2-out walk to Nairn in the last inning. Putnam choking up slightly on the bat. The left-hand hitter awaits the 3-2. Here it is. And he bounces it towards second again. Gibbs circles, picks it up on the dirt, throws to first, getting the out. 2 away, and Weaver over to third base. Well, it's a productive out for Putnam, but with 2 outs, it'll require a hit, an error, or a wild pitch to get in Weaver. And here's Trevor Bailey. Right-hand pitcher Mooney ready to go here against the left-hand hitter. And the first pitch misses up and away. Ballant decides to throw to third, and that was the wrong decision. Weaver sliding back in, has it hit off of his backside, and he'll scoot in to score as it rolls down the left field line. So that'll be an error on Mitchell Ballant. And a run in, and it's now a 5-2 ball game. With the count at 1-0, here's the pitch, and it's a swing and a miss. Hefty swing that time by Trevor Bailey. Mooney pitches, and that ball bounces in the dirt to the backstop. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike here to Bailey. And a run in. Here's the pitch. That's off of the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike. For now, that's an unearned run. Charged to Mooney. Depending on how this at-bat with Bailey goes. The 3-1. Bailey swings and misses over the top of a good breaking ball. Count running full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, nobody on. Carson-Newman 5, Mars Hill 2. Eagles looking for the longest winning streak against the Lions in 19 years. The pitch. Bailey ropes it down the right field line, foul. That was the 50th pitch of the day for Mason Mooney. He has piled them up here in this ball game. A lot of strikes in that stretch as well. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Blew a fastball by him. Up and away, and that's how the inning comes to a close. So the error by Ballant allows the run to score. It's unearned to the line of Mason Mooney, and we've played 3.5. Carson-Newman's lead is 3. 5-2 over the Lions. Eagles headed back to the bat rack looking for runs in a 3rd consecutive inning. 5-2 is your score here on the Eagles Sports Network.
To join the Tennessee Army National Guard.
We select our insurance companies the same way you do, very carefully. When you work with us, you can count on receiving fast, courteous, and professional service and quality protection through Auto Owners Insurance. For a no-problem approach for your life, home, car, and business insurance needs, ask us about the No Problem Company, Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency at 423-586-4320. Or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown, serving the Lakeway area's insurance needs since 1931.
Zach Honeycutt goes back into the bullpen, and he calls upon another right-hander. This time it'll be Jordan Whitaker, the rookie, 6'3", 165 from Mills River, North Carolina. Gets the ball for his collegiate pitching debut. And he'll face off against 9-1-2 in Carson-Newman's lineup, beginning with Ben Wilcoxon. Carson-Newman scoring 4 times in the second, 1 more in the third, and lead it 5-2 here against the Lions as Wilcoxon digs into the batter's box. Right-hand pitcher, right-hand batter, and Whitaker's first career pitch is down and in for ball 1. Well, Whitaker in after Connor Presnell went an inning, gave up a hit, struck out a batter. 1-0 pitch. Misses down and in again, 2 balls and no strikes. Jack Wagner's final line, 2 innings, 5 runs, 4 earned, 5 hits. He walks 2 and strikes out 3. Here's the 2-0. That's inside. 3 balls and no strikes. Whitaker has been trying the inner half and has just pushed it inside on every occasion. 3-0 count to Wilcoxon. And he misses again, almost the same exact location every single time. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Wilcoxon, who's aboard for the second time today. And the lineup flips back over. Carson-Newman has had the leadoff man aboard now in 3 straight innings after they were retired in order to begin the ball game. Henry Jackson has popped to second. He's walked as well in this game. Carson-Newman 5, Mars Hill 2, bottom of the 4th. Wilcoxon takes his lead over at first base. Whitaker coming set. He pitches, and that bounces in the dirt. Wilcoxon caught in no man's land. Unable to get back to first base, and he's picked off. Well, Wilcoxon saw the ball in the dirt, and he gets picked off. Catcher to first baseman. And he's caught out to dry. And with 1 out, the 1-0 to Jackson. There's a strike. First one of the year for Whitaker. So chalk him up by a 2-3 pickoff. And with the count at 1-1, here's the pitch. That misses inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. 5-2. Carson-Newman on top here in the 4th inning. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Well outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, Whitaker, after pounding the inner half to Wilcoxon, has went away, away, away to Jackson. And he's in a 3-1 hole. Works quickly, though, the pitch. That misses down and in. There's ball 4. Back-to-back walks, but the pickoff allows the Eagles to just have 1 man aboard. Second walk taken today by Jackson. And with 1 out and 1 on, here's Dalton McClain. He's struck out. He's popped to first. See how he reacts in his 3rd at bat with Carson-Newman after the last 2 years at Walters State. Right-hander coming set. Glancing over at first base. Now pitches, and McClain takes downstairs for ball 1. Carson-Newman playing without Trey Miller today. He should be back this weekend. No Harrison Travis, the preseason all-conference pick. His timeline is TBD. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. That misses low. It dribbles off of the glove of Bailey. Jackson thought about second for a second, but he retreats to first. But the Eagles have had some players step up. Aiden Gibson taking over at short has a double in 2 times up. And Wilcoxon's reached twice so far for the Eagles today. 2 balls, no strikes. Right-hander pauses and pitches. That bounces in the dirt, heads back to the screen. It's 3-0. Jackson motors down to second base and stops right there. And that'll be a wild pitch. Charge to Whitaker. And Jackson now in scoring position with a count at 3 balls and no strikes. Well, Whitaker has come out. Only 1 of his 12 pitches have been a strike. And he's in a 3-0 hole on McLean, in danger of walking a 3rd consecutive batter. Right-hander coming set. He pitches and misses up and in. 3 straight walks. This one a 4-pitch variety. Eagles have him at first and second base with 1 out. And Mitchell Ballant coming to the plate. Well, they're letting the freshman out there try to figure this out on his own. 12 of 13 offerings have been out of the zone. And now Ballant, who struck out and popped to third, will dig in. 5-2 Carson-Newman in the 4th. And here comes Zach Honeycutt once more. And let's see if he just has a chat with his freshman or if he elects to make a move into the bullpen. Carson-Newman leads it 5-2, 5 runs, 6 base hits, an error, and 3 left aboard for Carson-Newman. 2 runs, 3 hits, 3 errors, 2 left on base for Mars Hill. So the whole infield gathers around this young pitcher, and now they have elected to make a move down into the bullpen. So Whitaker throws 13 pitches, only 1 in the zone, and Mars Hill goes back to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the right-hander coming on in relief when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network.
The #1 source for Carson-Newman Athletics gear, shopseeandeagles.com, where you can find gear from Adidas, Columbia, Nike, and Under Armour. Shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, shorts, pants, hats, and scarves. Shopseeandeagles.com is your source for everything CN. You can even show your school spirit on your smartphone or tablet. All of your game day essentials can be found in one place. ShopSeeAndEagles.com.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City has deals for Carson-Newman students. Bring in your valid student ID when you order for pickup or delivery, and Domino's in Jefferson City will give you a steaming hot large 1-topping pizza for $4.99. That's a large 1-topping pizza for Carson-Newman students for $4.99 at Domino's in Jeff City. Call 865-471-6700 to order. That's 865-471-6700. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
With AEC's You Save Advantage program, take advantage and upgrade your home to save on energy. Eliminate large upfront investments and allow energy savings to provide the payments for energy upgrades on your bill. An AEC certified energy inspector visits your home to determine the options for energy efficiency. Then AEC installs the new energy efficiency measures and recovers its cost with a charge on your electric bill. Contact AEC today to start saving. AEC, we're power with purpose.
Well, Jordan Whitaker only throws 1 strike on 13 pitches, and the rookie will have better days ahead of him as he gives the ball over to Luke Kimmery, who appeared in 15 games a year ago. He struck out 28 batters in 19 innings pitched. Really effective out of the bullpen last season for this Mars Hill group, and he comes on with Carson-Newman having runners at first and second base and 1 out. And Kimmery on in relief. The senior right-hander, 6'3", 185 from Kernersville, North Carolina, will get Mitchell Ballant. If not for the pickoff when Wilcoxon got a little aggressive on the base paths, Eagles would have the bases loaded and nobody out. Instead, Mars Hill a double play ball from ending this inning. Runners at first and second base, and the Eagles lead it by 3 runs and 5-2. And Kimmery ready to go to work. here on Ballant. Right-hander comes to the high hold. Check second base. Now he pitches, and here's a rocket back up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Jackson cuts the corner at third. He races home. A base knock for Ballant, his first of his career. An RBI as well. And the margin stretches back out to 6-2. First pitch swinging from Ballant. McLean stops at second. And a rude greeting of Kimry with a base knock into center. So here's Zach Bose. He's been aboard twice. Runners at first and second, one out, 6-2 Eagles. Kimry's first pitch is a fastball down the middle for strike one call. Bose, a home run to start the scoring for the Eagles back in the second. Reached on an error back in the third. Right-hander Kimry ready to go. Here's his one strike pitch, and he throws it back to the screen about 8 miles back behind the plate. Time had been called, and he was just trying to stop his motion forward. Really nothing he could do there, and just decided to unfurl one. Now he works quicker with a one-strike pitch. Here it is. Bose swings and misses. 2 strikes and nothing. And Kimry, known for his strikeout ability, struck out over 13 per 9 innings a year ago. Firm fastball, nice slider. 2 men on, 1 out. No balls and 2 strikes. Kimry has the sign. Here's the pitch. That's outside, 1-2. Jordan Griffin is the first base coach. Tom Griffin is the third base coach for the Eagles this season. Carson-Newman has now scored in 3 consecutive innings. Won last year's opener, 5-0 against Milligan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Good fastball against Bose. Can't catch up to it. He's down swinging. And with 2 outs and 2 men on, it brings James Denton to the plate. He's singled and scored. He's walked, stolen a base, and scored. Very productive in his 2 trips to the plate. But Mars Hill could really escape a tough situation here in this 4th inning if Kimry can retire Denton and end this inning. Right-hand pitcher, left-hand batter. 6-2 Eagles in the 4th. Here's the pitch from the senior, and Denton rolls it up the first baseline foul. Well, think about this. 3 straight walks to begin the inning, and when you hear that, and then the 4th man with a base hit, you think that the Eagles have a chance for a big inning, but the pickoff of the runner at first base nullified that opening walk. And Carson-Newman trying to find that level playing ground now and add to this 4-run lead. Long look down by the big right-hander. Now finds something that he likes. He pitches. Denton pulls it foul up the first baseline. It squibbed across the chalk and then hopped into foul ground, so it's no balls and 2 strikes. Carson-Newman has seen 7 of the 9 guys in the lineup with a base hit, and every player on the roster has been aboard at least once today. A good balanced attack to start the year. 6-2, Carson-Newman on top. 2 outs, 2 on. And here's the 0-2 pitch from Kimry. Misses down and away. 1-2. Outfield shaded around to the right-hand side. There's a decent gap on the left side of the infield as Hayes is trying to keep McLean close to second base. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kimry gets the sign, checks McLean at second twice, now pitches, and there's strike 3 called, outside corner, and Kimry comes in and does his job. Despite giving up the hit, it's a Potts that allows Carson-Newman to add to its lead. Certainly could have been a lot worse for Morris Hill. Carson-Newman, though, leads by 4. It's a 6-2 Eagle lead. We head to the 5th. Eagles on top by 4 runs as we step out for a break here on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Mason Mooney's day is done. Solid outing for him, for the senior, to start off the year. 4 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned. 3 hits, a walk, and 3 punch-outs for Mason Mooney. And now he turns the ball over to Carson-Newman's bullpen, and it will be the sophomore Brock Culpepper. 6 feet tall, 185 from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. 2-seam fastball, changeup, and a slurve for the right-hander as he makes his Carson-Newman debut here today. And he has a 4-run lead to work with as Morris Hill comes to the plate in the 5th inning. It'll be 8-9-1 due up. Chris Bleeker starting it off for Morris Hill. He's grounded to third in his lone time at the plate. Eagles have a stable of relievers, and that group will certainly have some decisions to make on who becomes the back-end guys. You have Hunter Harrington and Jake Wright solidified, but certainly the door is open for others. The pitch. Misses downstairs on that slurve by Culpepper. 1 ball and no strikes. Carson-Newman leads it by 4 here in the 5th. A lot of runs scored in the last 6 half innings. The pitch. Line drive out to center field. Long run here for McLean. Still going back. He reaches up over the shoulder and is there to make the catch. Really good jump by McLean. That's what started everything. Got a great read on the baseball. Raced back to his left-hand side, leaned towards the warning track, and was able to snare it out of the air. 1 up, 1 down here in the 5th. And now here's Chad Sykes. Doubled. Back in the 3rd, but was stranded at third base. 6-2 Eagles in the 5th, and Culpepper pitches, and here's a high fly ball to left. Potts is camped out underneath of it, and he makes the catch several steps in front of the warning track. Sykes just missed that one, hit it high into the air, and in about a month and a half, that ball likely leaves the ballpark. But on a cold day here at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex, just a routine flyout. And with 2 outs and nobody on, here's Luke Hayes. The leadoff hitter is 0 for 2. First pitch, breaking ball, misses inside, ball 1. Well, the biggest thing for any Carson-Newman pitcher over the years has been, can you throw strikes? If you can, you will get a lot of innings. The 1-0 on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. You've seen it over the years. It might not necessarily be the stuff, but certainly the ability to get the ball over the plate is so critical. Now the bullpen. 1-1 pitch. Line drive, left center field. McLean hustling over. He's got time. He snares it in the alleyway. A couple hard-hit balls against Culpepper, but 3 outs in the outfield and a 1-2-3 frame in his collegiate debut. Eagles have a 6-2 lead. Can they score for a 4th consecutive inning? with a 4-run lead intact. We'll see if they can do that when they come to the plate in the bottom of the 5th here on the Eagle Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with their $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Carson-Newman has scored in 3 straight innings, a 4-run second, and 1 each in the 3rd and the 4th innings. And it'll be Aiden Gibson to start us off here in the bottom of the 5th inning as Luke Kimmery comes back out to work after a 9-pitch 4th inning. In relief, the first offering here is a breaking ball that zips across the zone on the inside corner for strike 1. Kimmery, the 4th pitcher of the day, trying to keep this thing close. Right-hander against right-hand batter. Gibson 1 of 2, and he takes outside, evening the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Whitaker goes a 1/3 of an inning. He walks 3, gives up a run. Could have been worse, though, in his debut. The 1-1. Gibson squaring it upon here, pushes it 3rd base side. That one goes foul, however. Count now at a ball and 2 strikes. Gibson getting the start at short. Trey Miller, the transfer, expected to be in that role, but an illness has him out for the time being. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch. Gibson pops it up. Right field, putting him heading over towards the line. In right field, he's there to make the catch. 1 up, 1 down, and that's the first time the Eagles don't have the leadoff man aboard since the 1st. And with a 6-2 lead in hand, Ryan Potts will climb in. Potts had an RBI single in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. One out, nobody on, and Potts at the plate. Kimmery ready to go to work. Right-hander comes set on the first base side of the rubber and pitches. And Potts flinched, but lays back. Pitch misses down, 1-0. Carson-Newman leads 6-2 on a chilly day here at the ballpark. The 1-0. Potts, another rocket back into center field. This is a base hit. 2nd straight inning. He's got a pitch out over the plate and hit a solid liner back up the middle. He has his 2nd hit of the day. And here comes William Gibbs as Carson-Newman continues to apply the pressure. 8th hit of the ball game for Carson-Newman. Eagles lead it by 4. Gibbs is singled, brought in a pair back in the 2nd, and grounded to 3rd. Kimmery ready to go, and his first pitch to Gibbs is a sweeping slider on the inside corner at the knees for a strike. 0-1 the count. Potts takes a modest lead over at first. Kimmery has the sign. He pitches, and there's another strike on a good slider inside corner. He's almost working backward, has gone away from the fastball a little bit of late, and has been working that breaking ball. Gibbs in a 2-0 hole. Kimmery has the sign. He pitches. This time he went to the fastball, and that's off of the glove of Bailey. 2nd base goes Ryan Potts, and that'll be a pass ball on Bailey. Maybe a little bit outside, but it hit him right in the glove. Count it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gibbs at the plate. Kimry has the sign. A glance back at second, the pitch. Another fastball misses away. 2-2. It's a very overcast day here at the ballpark. And because we started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon today, shouldn't have any issues with the darkness, even though it is a pretty dark day nevertheless. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kimry needs one here. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets Gibbs. Went back to the slider this time around. And he fans him. And with 2 outs now, it'll be on Ben Wilcoxon, who's been aboard both times he's been up today. Wilcoxon an RBI single back in the second. He drew a walk in the fourth. Carson-Newman leads 6-2. Riding a 5-game winning streak against this Mars Hill group. Kimry ready to go. Here's the pitch. That misses down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Carson-Newman hasn't lost to Mars Hill since the last day of February in 2020. And the 5-game winning streak is the longest in over a decade. And Carson-Newman won 5 in a row in 2011 and 2012. 1 ball, no strikes. Check a second, the pitch. This is down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. If Carson-Newman wins today, it would be the longest winning streak for Carson-Newman against Mars Hill since a span of 12 in a row from 2001 to 2004. Kimry coming set. 2 balls and no strikes, the pitch. There's a strike on the inside corner. Drop the slider in at the knees. Potts hanging out at second base. Eagles have another opportunity to add to the lead in this one. Carson-Newman 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Here comes the 2-1. Fastball just missed up and away. A pretty good looking pitch. Didn't catch the plate, however, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Carson-Newman leads it by 4. Wilcoxon at the plate. Henry Jackson at the top of the order looms. 3-1 and holding. Kimry kicks the leg and fires and drops another slider in there for a called strike to run it to 3-2. Carson-Newman has seen so many pitches in this ball game. All told, over 100 pitches thrown by Mars Hill pitchers in the game. Conversely, Carson-Newman has thrown 57 total pitches. 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Wilcoxon spoils it, fouling it off of first base. Count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Just been a much cleaner game on the mound by Carson-Newman pitching between Mooney and Culpepper. Nobody warming up down in the bullpen. Would imagine that Culpepper might get a chance to go back out there for a second inning. Payoff pitch coming again from the right-hander. Here it is. Off the plate away. Ball 4, and Wilcoxon is on for the 3rd time in the game. And another A-plus at-bat by this Carson-Newman lineup. So Wilcoxon's on for the 3rd time. And it brings Henry Jackson to the plate, the leadoff hitter. After popping out to second base in the first, he's drawn walks in his last 2 times up there. 6-2, Carson-Newman ahead. 2 men on and 2 outs. Looking to score for a 4th consecutive inning. Kimry has the sign. He pitches. Jackson bounces it foul, straight back. Carson-Newman, a big 4-run second inning. Certainly one of the biggest things that caused Carson-Newman into a lot of tight games a year ago. The inability to put up big numbers consistently, and we're in that situation right now. And they play add-on here in the 5th. 0-1 the count. Kimmery brings it up there. Jackson waits on a breaking ball and fouls it into the netting first base side. Counts it no balls and 2 strikes. Infield playing back. Outfield straight away. Jackson an 0-2 hole. Eagles on top by 4 here in the 5th. Here's the 0-2. Jackson lines it out to center field. Long run here for Lathe. Still going back to the wall. Cannot make the play. It bounces up against the fence. Potts is in to score. Right behind him is Wilcoxon. A 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run double from Henry Jackson. And the margin swells to 8-2. Jackson, a hard line drive into center field. His first hit of the season brings in a pair. Exactly what we were just talking about. Can the Eagles get some add-on moments? 4th straight inning, the Eagles have scored. 8-2 the lead, largest of the day. Here's the pitch to Dalton McClain, and it's a first pitch slider in there for strike 1. How does Kimmery bounce back here? Eagles have tagged up everybody so far with the exception of Presnell. 0-1 to count the pitch. Another slider. This time it misses down and in, 1-1. So with Jackson doubling to center, the only man in the starting lineup that doesn't have a hit so far today is the man at the plate. The Walter State transfer, Dalton McClain. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. McClain takes another slider down, 2-1. Well, Carson-Newman had such a steady lineup over the years, he could basically pencil in 6 to 7 guys every day. This year there would be questions. Who would fill into those roles? But there are several transfers that have stepped in. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. McClain swings, lines it into left field. That one is right at Nairn, and it ends the inning. Maybe the hardest hit ball of the day by this Carson-Newman side. McClain hit it on a frozen rope out to left field, but the left fielder Nairn was right there to make the catch. It ends the inning. But Carson-Newman gets 2 more. The 2-run double from Henry Jackson has Carson-Newman on top, 8-2. We're headed to the 6th. Eagles in control here as we step out for a break on the Eagle Sports Network.
My name is Cadet Amber Calvillo. I'm in the 278th in the Army National Guard, and I currently go to Carson-Newman. I joined the Tennessee Army National Guard for the experience mainly, so I can say that I'm a part of something totally bigger than myself.
Text 278-ACR to 70000 to join the Tennessee Army National Guard. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
Griff Hughes takes over on the mound for Carson-Newman, the left-handed sophomore, 6'4", 220. Takes over with an 8-2 lead here in the 6th, and his first pitch of the inning misses downstairs for ball 1 of the 2-hole batter, Alex Nairn. Brock Culpepper, what a debut for him. 6 pitches and an inning of work. It's 3 balls to the outfield in a 1-2-3 inning. Hughes works out of the stretch, and the left-hander pitches and misses inside with a fastball. It's 2-0. Hughes, solid overall last year, 18 outings, struck out 24 in those 18 and a third innings pitched. Well, ran into a couple bumps in the road last season. 2 balls and no strikes here to Nairn. The pitch misses down and in. It's 3-0. Well, when you look back at Hughes last season, there were a lot of good outings. A lot of outings where he allowed 1 or 0 runs, but the problem was he had 4 outings where he gave up at least 3. Trying to find that consistency this year, but I slipped into a 3-0 hole to lead off batting Nairn here in the 6th. He pitches, and he takes something off of it to get it over for a strike to make it 3-1. Nairn a fly out to right, and a walk. Carson-Newman leads 8-2 here in the 6th. Right-hander Hughes sighting the sign. He pitches, and here's a line drive down the left field line, but foul. And the count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mars Hill has not had a base runner since the double from Zach Weaver in the 4th. 6 straight retired between Mooney and Culpepper. 3-2 the count. Hughes has the sign. Here comes a payoff pitch. And it just missed down and away. Nearly battled back from a 3-0 hole to get out of the at-bat unscathed, but instead he walks Nairn, who's aboard for the 2nd time, and for the first time since the 4th, Mars Hill with a base runner to bring in Jordan Lathe. Lathe has flown to center and grounded to 3rd. He's 0 for 2. Carson-Newman 8, Mars Hill 2. Top of the 6th inning. Hughes working out of the stretch as the left-hander pitches, and he blows one past Lathe on the inside corner. Well, Hughes certainly shows flashes. Fastball, slider, splitter. With the count of 1 strike and nothing. He comes settled in on the first base side, now picks over to first. And back safely is Nairn. Outfield shaded around to the left-hand side. Hughes ready to go. He pitches, and it's a foul ball off of first base, and Hughes gets ahead at 0 balls and 2 strikes. Mars Hill got the scoring started back in the 2nd inning. A solo home run from Weaver. Carson-Newman answered with 4 in the bottom of the inning. Homer from Bose. 2-run base hit from Gibbs and an RBI single from Wilcoxon. Oh, 2 pitch. High fly ball down the left field line. This one is straddling the line, and it goes foul. 2nd time today that Lathe has turned on a ball but hooked it foul. Carson-Newman led it 4-1 after 2. They added a run in the 3rd inning on an RBI single from Potts with 2 outs. Mars Hill got back in the scoring column in the 4th inning when Zach Weaver scored after a throwing error by Ballant on a pickoff attempt. Eagles got it back with a Ballant RBI single in the 4th, and then the 2-out double from Jackson made it 8-2 in the 5th. And here in the 6th inning with a runner at first and nobody out, 0-2 to Lathe. Here comes the pitch, and it misses down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hughes steps back and throws to first, and Nairn back safely. Now you have Zach Weaver waiting in the on-deck circle. You got to find a way to get Lathe here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and it's pushed into right field. That one sinks down in front of Jackson for a base hit, a walk, and a base hit. And Mars Hill in business here in the 6th inning. Nairn to second base. And here comes Zach Weaver, the first-team all-conference pick, has scored both runs today for Mars Hill. Homered in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th. He has hit the ball on the screws both times. Now with Carson-Newman ahead by 6, 1 swing from Weaver would slice that in half. Hughes coming, sent out there on the rubber. Left-hander pitches and a swing and a miss. Good fastball this time around by Hughes. He's always had a firm heater. This is a big situation right now. Could be the turning point in this ball game one way or another. Hughes pitches, and that bounces in the dirt. Ballant blocks it. It goes up the third baseline, and that is very fortunate for the Eagles. That ball went about 45 feet up the third baseline. If that goes in the opposite direction, both runners likely move up. Instead, because Ballant not only did a good job of knocking the ball down, but quick to his feet to get to the ball, neither runner moves up. Carson-Newman 8, Mars Hill 2 here in the top of the sixth inning. Nobody out, though, and 2 men on. And the power-hitting Weaver at the plate. The 1-1. Check swing on a slow bender. 2-1, the count. Hughes did pitch against Mars Hill last year. Struck out 2, gave up a run. That was also an action-packed inning. Gave up 2 hits and a walk. So far, a walk and a hit in this inning. 2 balls, 1 strike to Weaver. Hughes has the sign. He pitches, and Weaver swings and misses. Another good fastball. Well, Hughes has come right at this all-conference member. The fastball has been the pitch to go to. What does he go with here with a count at 2-2 with 2 men on and nobody out? Does he try to sprinkle in another heater? Or does he go to the off-speed pitch? Here's the 2-2. It's another fastball. It's on the inside corner. It is strike 3 called. Hughes wins the battle against the first-team All-SAC selection. And that a critical punch-out. Weaver had a homer and a double and 2 trips to the plate today. 8-2 ball game. Top of the 6th, 2 men on and 1 out. Here's Dawson Connell. Hughes pitches. This fastball misses off the plate up and away. Well, those are the flashes that Griff Hughes has shown in his career. And now here in his 3rd year on campus, his sophomore campaign, can he put it together? 1 ball, no strikes. Check back at second to pitch, and a foul ball straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, we've been so used to Carson-Newman pitchers being so quick and efficient on the mound. This is the first inning today in which the Eagles have been in the field where they've spent a chunk of time out there with activity around the base paths. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hughes gets the sign from Ballant. Check second base, the pitch. And it's right down Broadway. Strike 2 called, 1-2. Took something off of it. Might have been that splitter this time around to spot it over the plate. Carson-Newman leads Mars Hill 8-2. Top of the 6th inning. A walk and a base hit started this frame, but the strikeout of Weaver. And now Hughes ahead at a ball and 2 strikes. He's setting pitches, and a slider is fouled off, unable to be caught behind the plate by Ballant. One ball and 2 strikes. Hughes coming set at the belt. He glances at second and pitches, and here's a high pop-up back behind the plate foul. And the count holds at a ball and 2 strikes. Carson-Newman has a new outfield wall, similar color pattern with the all-green fencing. Of course, the yellow tape on top. They took down the fence that was above the wall and left. The 1-2. Here's a rocket to the shortstop that gets just past a diving Gibson into left field for a base hit. Rounding third and coming to the plate, scoring is Nairn. Into second base goes Connell, and just like that, it's an 8-3 ball game. So Nairn scores, Lathe over to third, and Connell to second base. If the shortstop Gibson had been positioned slightly more towards third base, good chance that that ball could have been a double play. Instead, it's an RBI double. 8-3, and here's Putnam, the pitch. He lines the ball back into center field. McLean was in a good spot, makes the catch. Tagging Lathe, throw to the plate is late, and scoring is Lathe, and that trims it to an 8-4 game here in the sixth. A sacrifice fly from Putnam brings in Lathe and makes it an 8-4 contest. So here's Bailey. Left-hand pitcher ready to go. The pitch. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Pickoff move back to second, and the ball ends up in center field, but fortuitously for the Eagles. And that doesn't come back to hurt him because Connell got back to the bag, and he stopped right there as he slid back into second base. One strike and nothing to count. And time called by Ballant. One strike and nothing, and holding here on Bailey. Hughes pitches, and there's a swing and a miss. Just like that, Hughes ahead in the count, and no balls and two strikes. Couple runs have come in. Carson-Newman building up as much as a 6-run lead in this game. 8-4 the score right now as Hughes ready to go. The pitch. That drifts off the plate well away. 1-2. A walk, a single, strikeout, RBI double, and a sac fly. And an extended inning here for Griff Hughes. Next pitch will be number 27. And here's the 1-2. Here's a rope into right field. That hooks over the first baseman, Denton. And down the line, around third base coming home is Connell. He's in to score. Bailey an RBI double. And just like that, it's a 3-run ball game. Well, this is the problem that Griff Hughes has run into the last couple years. And just like that, what was an 8-2 lead turns in to an 8-5 margin. And here comes Chris Bleeker. First pitch from Hughes is a fastball up. 1 ball and no strikes. So far, we've seen 3 hits and 3 runs in the inning. And you have to stop the damage right here, right now. 1 ball and no strikes. Hughes has the sign and pitches, and there's a swing and a miss. Went to the splitter downstairs. This time around, the count evens at a ball and a strike. Well, first inning in which Mars Hill has strung together some hits. Hughes citing the sign. The pitch. Here's a rope down the third base line, but foul. 1-2. Carson-Newman hadn't hosted a season opener since 1992 until last year, and now at home for the second straight year on opening day. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first and 2 outs. 3 runs in. Hughes pitches, and there's a swing and a miss for strike 3 on the splitter, and that ends the inning. But Mars Hill comes up with 3 runs on 3 base hits, and the Lions trim a 6-run deficit down to 3. It's 8-5. Carson-Newman controlling it by 3. Eagles could use some more run support, and they'll try to do just that. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Eagles when we come back. The Silver Diamond Baseball Complex on the Eagles Sports Network.
At InterDigital, we strive to be a leading provider of cutting-edge digital and marketing solutions. At InterDigital, we want to help our clients find success. Our team of technology gurus work together to ensure InterDigital continues to progress forward as technology advances. At InterDigital, we make technology work for you. Visit interdigital.com for IT support, web development, virtual tours, graphic design, internet marketing, mobile app, and film production services.
InterDigital, laser focused on your success.
Serving East Tennessee for 40 years, Magaha Electric is the perfect choice for all your electrical projects. Magaha Electric specializes in commercial, retail, manufacturing, residential, and industrial contracting needs. Magaha Electric can provide superior service, technical know-how, and realistic budgeting for any size project in a timely, cost-effective manner. Visit MagahaElectric.com for all your electrical contracting needs. Magaha Electric, your East Tennessee electrical contracting source.
After Mars Hill puts up 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning, Carson-Newman's lead shrinks to just 3 at 8-5 as Coach Zach Honeycutt turns it back into the bullpen, calling upon a rookie right-hander, 6'2", 190 from Lake Mary, Florida, Colin McCall. Faces off against Mitchell Ballant to lead off this inning, and the first pitch to Ballant. This is down and away for ball 1. Ballant today, 1 out of 3, an RBI his last time up. Bose and Denton also due up here in the inning. 8-5 Eagles in the bottom of the 6th. The 1-0 pitch. High fly ball, head out to straightaway center. Lathe going back all the way to the fence. See you later. Mitchell Ballant's first career homer at Carson-Newman leaves the yard in a hurry on a 1-0 pitch. Eagles get it back, and it's 9-5. On a 1-0 offering, Ballant leaves the yard. And here comes Zach Bose. Carson-Newman leads at 9-5, and the pitch is a swing and a little flare out towards second base. Weaver able to backpedal and make the grab. And just like that, 1 out. So it's 1 out and nobody aboard. Here's James Denton. A single, a walk, and a strikeout. He scored twice as well so far in this game. So Denton at the plate, the left-hand hitter. Carson-Newman leads 9-5. And the pitch to Denton misses downstairs. Ball 1. Carson-Newman has now scored in every inning but the first. Went down in order in the opening frame. 1-0 pitch to Denton. Well outside here. 2 balls and no strikes. Eagles offense has kept the pedal to the metal. It's been extra base hits. It's been good base running and some Mars Hill miscues. The 2-0. Misses down and in. 3 balls and no strikes. Aiden Gibson awaits in the on-deck circle, with Carson-Newman on top by 4 at 9-5. 3-0 pitch way outside, and it actually ends up at the backstop as it rattles around the backstop, but in the end, it's just a 4-pitch walk to Denton to bring Aiden Gibson to the plate. 6th walk issued by Mars Hill pitching, and that's exactly how many they averaged last year per game. Carson-Newman looking to crest double digits in terms of runs scored. A runner at first base and 1 out. 9-5. The Eagles lead it. McCaw pitches, and that pitch drifts off the plate on a slider for ball 1. So far, just 2 of the 8 pitches thrown by McCaw have been strikes. Here's the pitch here, and this one misses high and tight. 2 balls and no strikes. Carson-Newman has scored 10-plus runs 85 times since 2015. They're 82-3 in those games. However, 1 of those 3 losses came to this Mars Hill side. 2-0 pitch. That one goes all the way to the backstop. Hustling to second goes Denton. It's 3-0, and on the wild pitch, James Denton heads over to second base. That was a 14-13 loss on February 28th of 2020 for Carson-Newman. Last time that they lost to the Lions. 3 balls and no strikes. It has been 7 in a row out of the zone by McCaw. And here comes his 3-0 pitch. And he gets a strike on the inside corner with a fastball this time around, 3-1. Carson-Newman last year in the couple games that they played against Mars Hill, 4 homers, 13 extra base hits. And these 2 teams will kick off conference play at the beginning of March, right here at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex. 3-1 is a foul ball. Gibson bounces it off of his shoelaces to even the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes. 1 out and runner at second base in Denton. McCaw brings the payoff pitch up there, and Gibson fouls it straight back. We don't have the ability to see the exact number of foul balls, but boy, there have been a lot of them by this Carson-Newman side today. They've done a really good job of extending at bats, getting a bunch of different guys to the plate. 3-2 the count to Gibson, the pitch. He grounds it back up the middle. It's snared by McCaw right near his left shoe. Did a really good job to just get the glove down. Makes the play and throws out Gibson at first. However, it does move Denton over to third base. Well, that ball certainly looked like it was at least going to get past McCaw. I don't think that it was hit hard enough to get through the infield, but certainly at the very least would have made it an interesting play. But instead, 2 outs, a run in, and a runner at third. Ryan Potts at the plate, 2 for 3 on the day. First pitch to him, drifts off the plate, down and away for ball 1. Carson-Newman leads Mars Hill 9-5, looking for a 6th straight win over the Lions, and looking to win a home opener for the 11th year in a row. Got to go back to 2012, the last time Carson-Newman lost a home opener. 1-0. Misses down and away. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch efficiency has not been a friend of Mars Hill in this game. Meanwhile, Carson-Newman has scored in 5 consecutive innings. Double-digit hits again for this Eagle group. 2-0 pitch. Misses inside. 3-0. Well, McCaw has been all over the map with these pitches. Sometimes he's missed way outside to righty. Sometimes he's missed way inside. 3-0 pitch. Well outside again. There's another walk. Runners at the corners to bring William Gibbs to the plate. 2 outs. Gibbs today has singled in 2. 1 out of 3 overall. So let's see if Gibbs can produce with 2 outs. Carson-Newman leads at 9-5. The pitch misses inside once more. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, it looks good coming out of the hands of McCaw. You just don't know where it's going to end up. 6 of 19 pitches have been strikes. 1 ball and no strikes. McCaw brings it up there, and that looked pretty good from here. Just does miss down, however, and it's 2-0. You have such young pitchers now, and that's one of the things with that COVID year. There were a lot of teams that allowed those players to use that extra year of eligibility. 2-0 on the inside corner for a strike, 2-1. And because of that, you really couldn't develop some of these younger players because you had that experience and depth up top already, and then when you lose guys like Carson-Newman did last year, you bring in a bunch of new faces. 2-1. Misses inside. 3 balls and a strike. And when you have that turnover, sometimes you have to lean on him early, but just like with Jordan Whitaker, who threw just 1 of his 13 pitches for strikes. A lot of baseball to be played in their careers. 3-1. Right down the middle for a strike, and Ryan Potts will swipe second base in the meantime. Eagles, I think, were considering, if you decide to throw it down, maybe James Denton will take off for home. Instead, Trevor Bailey, wise to that, holds on to the ball. And with 2 outs and runners at second and third, Carson-Newman leading at 9-5. A payoff pitch coming from McCaw. Gibbs rolls it out towards short. Hayes picks it up on the dirt, throws over to first, and that ends the inning. Eagles strand 2 more in the frame with a leadoff home run from Mitchell Balance as Carson-Newman on top, 9-5. Eagles have homered twice in this game. And Carson-Newman with a 4-run lead. Take it into the 7th inning. New pitcher coming up for the Eagles as well. We'll tell you about the right-hander out of the pen when we come back with the Eagles leading at 9-5 here on the Eagles Sports Network.
My name is Cadet Amber Calvillo. I'm in the 278th in the Army National Guard, and I currently go to Carson-Newman. I joined the Tennessee Army National Guard for the experience mainly, so I can say that I'm a part of something totally bigger than myself.
Text 278-ACR to 70000 to join the Tennessee Army National Guard.
We select our insurance companies the same way you do, very carefully. When you work with us, you can count on receiving fast, courteous, and professional service and quality protection through Auto Owners Insurance. For a no-problem approach for your life, home, car, and business insurance needs, ask us about the No Problem Company, Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency at 423-586-4320 or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown, serving the Lakeway area's insurance needs since 1931.
Jackson Harbin takes over on the mound, and he's wasting no time to get out there as he throws 2 pitches already, missing with both, even though they both look pretty good. It's 2-0. 9-5 Eagles here in the 7th, and Harbin pitches and misses again down low, and it's 3 balls and no strikes to Chad Sykes, who has doubled and flown to left field in his 2 trips to the plate. Well, Harbin working quickly, but missing. 3 balls, no strikes, the pitch. This time he gets it up above the knees for a strike, 3-1. Harbin making his 16th career appearance, appeared in 6 games last year. 12 strikeouts, 3 walks in 10 innings. 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Sykes way out in front of it, goes to a knee, steps across the plate. 3-2. Harbin 6'3", 190. A junior from Gastonia, North Carolina. 3-2 the count as he's worked back into it and he pitches. Just missed high with a fastball this time around, however, and issues a leadoff walk to Sykes. Second straight inning. The Lions have put the leadoff man on base because of a base on balls, and both times have been because Carson-Newman pitching fell behind early and couldn't work themselves all the way back into the count. Harbin making his first appearance against Mars Hill. Here's this first pitch to the right-hand hitting Luke Hayes, and again missing high with a fastball. Right-hand pitcher set. Now the 1-0. Right down the middle this time around for a strike, 1-1. Harbin was last out there against Lenore Rhine last season. 4 innings, 4 strikeouts, but gave up 3 runs in that game, the 1-1. High and tight on a fastball. Ballant throws it back to first. Back safely is Sykes. Harbin has racked up strikeouts in high volumes over his career when he's been out there. The 2-1. Fouled straight back. 2-2. Last 3 outings of last season were at least 2 punch-outs. 9 of his 15 career outings, he's had at least 2 punch-outs. Counts at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hayes at the plate. Carson-Newman holds on to a 9-5 lead. Harbin comes set. And he'll throw it over to first base, and back safely is Sykes. Well, Carson-Newman played 22 games last year, decided by 1 or 2 runs. They played a boatload of tight games. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Pausing pitching, and another foul ball straight back by Hayes. Carson-Newman plays here today. Then they head on the road this weekend. USC Aiken will be the team. And Carson-Newman will take a look at this weekend, and then back home for Milligan on Tuesday, and on the road to Tusculum on Wednesday. The 2-2 again. Breaking ball this time misses well down and away. 3-2. Pretty road-heavy start to the season. Carson-Newman plays at home just twice in the first 2 weeks of the year. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first. Harbin will check on him as well at first base. Well, Harbin's first year on campus in 2021, walks were a big issue. 7 of them in 10 2/3. Slice that number down to 3 last year in 10 1/3 frames. The 3-2. High pop up back behind us, out of play. Carson-Newman 9 runs on 10 hits, an error and 8 left on base. 5 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors, and 3 left aboard for the Lions. Leadoff man on base at first, and Sykes. And another payoff pitch coming as Harbin's settling in. He pitches, and it's a swing and a miss for strike 3. A fastball beats Hayes on the inside corner, and just what the doctor ordered there from Harbin. Excellent pitch. And with 1 out and 1 on, here's Alex Nairn. He's walked his last 2 times up, flown to right as well. Officially 0 out of 1. 9-5 Eagles in the 7th. The pitch. Fouled straight back. 1 strike and nothing to count. Outfield playing pretty much straight away. Third baseman Will Coxon has been bouncing back and forth between even with the bag and a couple steps behind it. Middle infield looks for an inning-ending double play ball. The 0-1. Curveball stays above the zone for a ball. 1-1. Well, Zach Honeycutt was named head coach on July 20th. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball down. Harbin's starting to get a better feel of that curveball. ball and 2 strikes. Harbin sights the sign and pitches. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. Back-to-back punch-outs for Harbin, and it's the 10th time in his career he's racked up at least 2 in an outing. And after the leadoff walk, back-to-back punch-outs. And here's Jordan Lathe. Singled his last time up. He's 1 out of 3 on the day. Carson-Newman leads 9-5, and this would be a big out to get right here with Zach Weaver in the on-deck circle. Harbin pitches. Misses high with a curveball this time around. 1-0. Sykes has not attempted to steal at all. Here's the 1-0. That misses down and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, for years you couldn't run against Carson-Newman catchers. Wouldn't even consider it. Marcel hasn't even tested Ballant yet. We don't know what he can do on that pop time down to second. With Carson-Newman coach Tom Griffin, one of the preeminent catching coaches in the nation, you always expect that position to be strong. Harbin throws to first. Sykes is back. But you almost are surprised that Sykes hasn't tried to take off for second. Granted, not necessarily that valuable in a 4-run game for him to steal a bag. Another throw over there, and once again back safely. Although, I guess earlier this inning would have been more valuable to try to get out of the double play opportunity. 2-0 pitch now. There goes Sykes right on cue, and it works out perfectly. A dribbler is into right field, a base hit. Sykes slid into second. He gets up. Jackson throws to third, but it's offline, and it's a base hit for Lathe on one of the slowest rolling balls to get to the outfield. Jackson fielded it and was a few feet from the infield dirt. Instead, runners at the corners with 2 outs in a 9-5 game. Well, Sykes was able to get all the way over to third, and it works perfectly. If he's not running, that play certainly ends the inning. It was hit slow enough. Gibbs would have had plenty of time to get to it and get it to first. Instead, right on cue. Base hit, and now here comes Coach Tom Griffin out to the mound to have a conversation with Jackson Harbin. Well, the tying run is in the on-deck circle now all of a sudden. And after Carson-Newman led it 8-2 going to the 6th, it's 9-5, and a great opportunity here for the Lions. Zach Weaver is homered. He's doubled. His last time up in the 6th inning, he struck out, as Hughes was able to get him in an inning in which he gave up 3 runs. Now, decisions to be made here for Carson-Newman coach Tom Griffin. Nobody is warming up in the bullpen that we can see, although there has been some activity going on inside of the cages. And Carson-Newman indeed will turn it over to the bullpen. So we'll step out for a break. We'll tell you about Carson-Newman's move here. 9-5 game, 2 outs, top of the 7th inning, 2 men on for Mars Hill on the Eagle Sports Network.
When you're sick and tired of fast food and need a fresh home-cooked meal, turn to Lisa's Country Kitchen. Lisa's been cooking up her fresh, never-frozen food for the Lakeway area for more than 15 years. Lisa's cares about her customers. You may enter a stranger, but you'll leave a friend. From foot-long hot dogs to juicy steaks, Lisa's has the best food for the best prices.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
At Aramark, this year we go back to our foundation. At Aramark, we are great food and great service with great guests. That is the Aramark way. From coffee at Maples to sandwiches in Stokely, Aramark is here to produce high-quality food for you. A foundation of fresh food, a foundation of speedy service, and a foundation that's built for you, now and for the future. That is the Aramark way.
Carson-Newman turns the ball over to Hunter Harrington, the junior from Huntersville, North Carolina, 6'2", 165. He is on in relief for the first time after 20 appearances last year. And last year was a Jekyll and Hyde season. Unhittable at the beginning of the year, then just one scoreless outing in the last month of the season. So he comes on to face Zach Weaver. Runners at the corners, 2 outs, 9-5 Eagles in the 7th. Harriton's first pitch is a ground ball through the left side of the infield for a base hit. Weaver wasting no time, and he's now a triple shy of the cycle. And that makes it 9-6 and brings the tying run to the plate. Lathe stops at second. Sykes scores. Weaver's got a couple RBIs now in the game. So here's Connell. He doubled in a run his last time up. And here's a balk. Well, that's a mistake. Now runners at second and third base just like that. Harriton's been out there for a few seconds. Here's the first pitch to Connell, and it's a swing and a miss on a pitch downstairs. 0-1. It's a 9-6 ball game. Near the top of the 7th inning. Runners at second and third. Huge runners. The pitch. Check swing from Connell. It looked like he went around on it. There's no appeal been asked for. And I guess there won't be one, so it's 1-1. Connell looked like he checked his swing and maybe even went all the way around, but the umpire never asked for any clarification. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. This time he does go all the way around on it. It's 1-2. Well, Connell looks about as uncomfortable as you can look right now in the batter's box. The swings have not been very smooth whatsoever. 1-2 the count. Harriton pauses. He pitches. And he misses this time with a fastball. It's 2-2. Harriton, the Marshall transfer, really looked good at the beginning of the year. He was a really consistent piece and then just lost the feel of that changeup. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And time call. The count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs and 2 on. Here's the pitch. And that bounces in the dirt. It's 3-2. Runners thought about moving up. Now they retreat. And the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nine, 6. Carson-Newman in the 7th. 2 outs, 2 on. The payoff pitch. Popped back and out of play by Connell. Now here's some of that early season intensity happening right now. Felt like Carson-Newman was going to be able to pull away from this one and hold on to control. Instead, Mars Hill has kept clawing back and forth. Here's the pitch. That misses down and away, ball 4. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Oh, remember, the Eagles went to the bullpen. To get to this point. And Harriton has come in and given up a base hit, and now a walk. And with the bases loaded and 2 outs, here's Trey Putnam. First pitch misses inside on a fastball. 1-0. Well, last year, Harriton walked 18 in 25 innings. He's walked 27 in 39 career innings. Base on balls have been an issue. Bases juiced, 2 outs, the 1-0. Putnam fouls it down the left field line. 1 ball and 1 strike. The tying run at first. The go-ahead run at the plate. And as Carson-Newman has scored in 5 straight innings, I haven't quite been able to push this one out to a big enough lead yet, even though they led by 6. The pitch, Putnam misses here. The ball bounces away from Ballin. He picks it up, throws it between the legs of Harriton, and a run scores. And now the tying run is in scoring position. That'll be a wild pitch. Charge to Harriton. And a run scores. Now a 2-1 pitch is a breaking ball down for a strike. And a swing and a miss by Putnam. And now here comes a 2-2 pitch from Hunter Harriton. And it's bounced slowly right side of the infield. Harriton circles, grabs it, underhands to first as he's running towards the bag. And that ends the inning. Very fortuitous right there for the Eagles to get out of the inning. But 2 more runs cross the plate in the 7th. And just like that, it's down to a 2-run ball game. 9-7 at stretch time. Eagles cling to a 2-run lead. Step out for a break, and Carson-Newman plays some add-on. We'll find out when we come back here on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Carson-Newman at one point led 8-2. But Mars Hill has put up 5 runs in the last 2 innings and pulled within a 2-run ball game. Colin McCall will go back to work, 24 pitches into his outing, and here's Ben Wilcoxon to lead it off. He has been aboard every time today, and he bounces the first pitch back up the middle. The second baseman, Weaver, was playing in that direction, goes behind the bag, picks up the baseball, and throws out Wilcoxon at first base. So a quick and efficient 1-pitch out right there for a right-hander that had thrown just 9 of his first 24 pitches for strikes. Carson-Newman leading this game at 9-7. Here's Henry Jackson. He's been on base 3 straight times, including a 2-out, 2-run double in the 5th. 9-7 Eagles here in the 7th. McCaw pitches. Jackson squares to bunt. Takes ball 1 as it glances off of the glove of Bailey to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes. Carson-Newman has pretty much led the duration, despite the fact Weaver hit a home run in the 2nd to make it 1-0. Eagles answered with 4 straight. The 1-0 pitch. Jackson again squares to bunt. McCaw misses yet again, this time high and tight with a fastball, 2-0. Eagles have scored in every inning but the first, and looking to add to that here in the 7th. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch. Misses down and in, 3-0. Well, one of the themes of last season was this simple. Exactly what we're seeing from Carson-Newman now. Build up a lead and be unable to hold on to it or build upon that. 3-0 pitch. Misses inside. Ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk for McCaw as he continues to miss. 3rd walk issued by McCaw. And now Dalton McClain, the lone starter for Carson-Newman that has not recorded a hit. 9-7. Carson-Newman leads on opening day. McCall works out of the stretch. Jackson at first. And here's the pitch to McClain. Misses down and in for a ball, 1-0. Wagner started it, gave up 5 runs. Presnell, Whitaker, Kimry, now McCaw for Mars Hill. 1 ball, no strikes. Check at first, the pitch. Bounces in the dirt, goes straight through the wickets of Bailey. Bangs off the backstop, rolls into fair territory first base side. And that advances Jackson over to second base on a wild pitch. And it's now 2-0 here to McClain. Eagles will gladly take Another runner in scoring position, and with McCaw's inability to throw strikes consistently, let's see what he dials up here. Eagles lead it by a pair. 2 balls, no strikes. He pitches. This time it's a fastball that dots the middle of the plate for a strike. 2-1. Right-hand pitcher working. Now bringing it up there, and McLean rolls it through the left side of the infield, past the diving Sykes at third and into left for a base hit. Throw comes back into the infield quickly. Jackson had to wait just to make sure that that ball would slither through, and McLean becomes the 9th Eagle hitter with a base hit. It's the 11th of the day. And with runners at the corners and 1 out, here comes Mitchell Ballant. Excellent piece of hitting by McLean. Found a pitch that he could handle, muscles it through the infield, and another pitching change. We'll step out for a break. Mars Hill turns it over to the bullpen again. And with Carson-Newman leading at 9-7, we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. Eagles on top, 9-7 on the Eagle Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long, from the morning with their $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
At the Kate Insurance Agency, our focus is you. The Kate Insurance Agency offers personalized protection plans to cover your auto, home, business, or life and health. At Kate Insurance, our goal is to partner with you in determining your insurance needs and to provide the best customer service. At Kate Insurance, we believe that loyalty is a quality that is earned. You are important to us. Call 865-475-3391 for a quote today, or visit kateinsuranceagency.com.
How do you show your support for Carson-Newman? Head over to shopseeneagles.com right now, where they have all of your needs covered. From clothing to outfitting your tailgate party, whether you're hunting, fishing, or on the golf course, shopseeneagles.com is the place for you. All of your everyday essentials, from pens to phone chargers, are in one place. For the best gear in the business, visit shopseeneagles.com today.
Sam Kaplan is on in relief. The 6'3", 210-pound senior right-hander from Summerfield, North Carolina, comes on with runners at the corners and 1 out. And Mitchell Ballant takes the first pitch, breaking ball in the inside corner for ball 1. Kaplan was the team leader in wins last season, had 4 of them in 14 appearances for Mars Hill. The 0-1. Runner takes off from first, pitch misses way outside, and McLean swipes second base. Well, right on cue, Carson-Newman's ability to steal bags proving potent. 4 of the transfers this year stole double-digit bases a season ago. And with runners at second and third, the count's at a ball and a strike here to Ballant, the pitch. Ballant rips it foul down the third base line. The count's at 1-2. Eagles had 49 steals a year ago as a team. That was 7th in the league. This year, already been super aggressive on the pass. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-run lead in hand and a swing and a miss. Slider on the inner half. Ballant can't catch up to it this time around. And yet again, the Eagles will have to do some business here with 2 outs. Zach Bowe stands in, homered on the first pitch he saw this season. Since then, he's reached on an error, struck out swinging, and popped a second. Eagles have scored in 5 straight innings, but not yet here in the 7th, leading at 9-7. And the first pitch to Bose is a fastball high this time around, 1-0. 2 outs, runners at second and third. A base hit would get this back to a 4-run lead. 1 ball and no strikes. Kaplan out of the windup, pitches. And Bose swings and hits a high fly ball, deep left center field. Way back. See you later. Zach Bose, a 3-run bomb with 2 outs in the 7th. Extends it back to a 5-run lead at 12-7. Second blast of the day for the senior. How about Zach Bose cranking one out of the yard? 3rd homer of the day. And now here's James Denton, and he swings and misses on the first pitch he sees. Carson-Newman getting some pop out of this lineup. On a 1-0 pitch, he leaves the yard. The 0-1 to Denton is another swing and a miss. He chases a pitch down. Well, Bose has homered twice. Last year hit double digits in the category. No balls, 2 strikes to Denton. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses. 3 pitches downstairs. Kaplan beats him. Denton strikes out. It ends the inning. But yet again, Carson-Newman does damage with 2 outs. A 3-run bomb from Zach Bose. And Carson-Newman, through 7, leads it by 5 again. Can the Eagles hold on to this one and prevent some run scoring from Mars Hill? Find out when we come back. Eagles by 5 here on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Every time Mars Hill is inched closer, Carson-Newman has had a punch right back. 2 out, 3-run homer from Zach Bose in the 7th. Carson-Newman has a 5-run lead in a game in which they've led by as many as 6. Bailey leads us off for Mars Hill in the 8th. Bottom third of the order is Hunter Harrington back to work, and his first pitch misses down and away to the left-hand hitter for ball 1. Mars Hill, 5 runs in the last 2 trips to the plate. 1-0 the count. Harrington pitches, and Bailey hits one down the left field line, slicing towards the corner and out of play. Even the count at 1-1. Carson-Newman leads it by 5, 12-7. They led it 8-2 as well. Mars Hill has had the ability to get back into it. 1-1. Down and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. Right-hand pitcher into his motion and firing. And he swings, does Bailey, and lifts it high into the air into right center. Underneath it, McLean. He makes the grab, and there's 1 away. That ball is way up into the air. One out, nobody aboard, and here's the right-hand hitting Chris Bleeker, and he takes a look at ball 1 down and in. One 1-0 pitch. Here's a High fly ball way out of the ballpark down the left field line. Well, Mars Hill's had some big-time shots in which they've been way out in front of pitches. 1 ball, 1 strike. Harrington ready to go. He pitches, and he drops a breaking ball in there for a strike. 1-2. Harrington peers over that black mitt. The 1-2. Misses this time down and away. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carson-Newman out hitting Mars Hill 12-8 and leading in the run column 12-7. Break-even pitch from Harrington. Check swing. And that will draw the ire of the fan base. The home plate umpire was about halfway home to ringing him up. Brought the right arm back, the front arm forward, and then paused and said, nope, that was a ball. 3-2 pitch. Doesn't matter. It's strike 3 at the end of the day as Bleeker swings and misses. Well, Harrington saw the last one that was nearly a strikeout and decided to throw one of his better breaking balls this time around. Bleeker chases. 2 outs. The Eagles looking for a clean inning on the mound. Chad Sykes at the plate. Swings and dribbles one third base side. Wilcoxon waits, grabs it on the grass, throws over to first base, and that ends the inning. Just what Carson-Newman needed. A 0 in a frame. Wilcoxon, a solid play defensively. Harrington, a 1-2-3-8. Eagles will try to play add-on. 12-7. Carson-Newman leads this ball game. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Perhaps last chance for some run support for Carson-Newman when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with their $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Mars Hill dips back into the bullpen for the 7th pitcher of the day. Rookie left-hander at 6'2", 220 from Leesburg, Florida, Sam Kaplan. Or check that, Dustin Dunlap is into the ball game for Mars Hill, and he'll face off against Aiden Gibson, Ryan Potts, and William Gibbs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Carson-Newman leading this ball game, 12-7, looking for some more insurance here in this ball game as they look to win on opening day. Lefty against right-hand batter. Dunlap ready to go. Gibson takes downstairs for ball 1. Gibson today doubled in the 2nd. Since then, he struck out, flown to right, and grounded to the mound. 1 ball and no strikes. Carson-Newman ahead by 5. Left-hander kicks the leg and fires, and Gibson fouls it off of first base, 1-1. In the top of the 9th inning, it'll be the top of the lineup due up for Mars Hill, and Hunter Harrington should be back out there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dunlap lifts the leg and pitches and misses way up and away. 2 balls and a strike. This is the 97th clash that these two clubs have had since 1990. 63 wins versus 33 losses for Carson-Newman. 2-1 pitch. Bouncing ball back up the middle, hops over the second base bag, and trickles into center field for a base hit. Second poke of the day for the rookie. And the Eagles back in business. 13th hit rather of the day. And now Ryan Potts, who's got a couple hits and has been on base in 3 straight plate appearances. Carson-Newman leads it 12-7. Bottom of the 8th inning. Left-hander coming set on the third base side of the slab. Checks first base, now brings it up there and misses down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, from the looks of it so far today and the small sample size, Carson-Newman's lineup looks as solid as you would hope. Everybody in the starting lineup with a hit. The 1-0. Misses down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. And so far from the pitching staff as well, at least economical in this game. And we haven't seen some of the bigger pieces to the puzzle yet either. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch from the southpaw. Off the plate away, 3-0. Potts takes it. This weekend, you can expect to see Noah Pridmore, Ethan Patch, and Tyler Shaver against USC Aiken. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's off the plate away. A base on ball, so a single and a walk. And Carson-Newman has him at first and second base with nobody out for William Gibbs. Gibbs 1 out of 4 on the day. Carson-Newman leading it 12-7. Corner infield pinched in, and Mars Hill forced to get some more activity down in the bullpen. Dunlap coming set at the belt and the pitch. Misses down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. It's just been a completely different day on the mound between these two teams. Lions overall, 163 pitches. They've walked 10 batters. Carson-Newman on the other side, 133, just 4 walks. Here's the 1-0. Gibbs squares to bunt, backs it away, and takes a strike. 1-1. I mentioned Carson-Newman's ability to swipe sacks. 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts, and the one attempt where they failed was when Zach Bowes was hustling to the plate after the ball took a ricochet off the backstop. Here's the 1-1. Gibbs bunts at third base side, but it hangs in the air and drops foul. 1-2. Eagles have been productive in every category today. 7 for 18 with runners in scoring position. That's 389. But also, do the math here. 18 at-bats with runners in scoring position. They've had 33 all games, so pretty much every other hitter that has come to the plate has had a man in scoring position, and yet again here. The 1-2 coming here to Gibbs. The pitch. He takes strike 3 called on the inside corner. And the runners will have to stay put at first and second base, as that's the first out of the inning, and it brings Ben Wilcoxon to the plate. He's been on base 3 times today. And with runners at first and second base and 1 out, Carson-Newman would sure like a little bit more in terms of run support, as they have scored in 6 straight innings. Left-hand pitcher comes set and fires, and that misses downstairs for a ball. 1-0. Wilcoxon getting the start at third base. A couple of those last year. Really staking a claim over there right now. The 1-0. Misses down. 2 balls and no strikes. Dunlap with a long look down this time around. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's way up and away. It's 3-0. Well, it'll be very interesting to see this Mars Hill team next month. A lot of young pitchers out here. And let's see where this group is when conference play begins on March 3rd. What kind of development does this team have? 3-0 pitch. Misses down, and the bases are loaded as Will Coxon is aboard for the 4th time today. And the lineup flips back over as well for Henry Jackson. Carson-Newman leads at 12-7. Jackson has been on base in 4 straight at-bats, 3 times via a walk, once via a 2-run double. He's scored twice, he's driven in 2. Dunlap ready with the bases juiced. Here's the pitch. Jackson floats it down the first baseline, a long run for Connell, but he won't be able to get to it as it falls in foul ground for strike 1. Well, really, when you look up and down the Carson-Newman lineup, Jackson's been on base 4 times. McLean's been on base twice. Ballant twice. Bose 3 times. Denton 3 times. Gibson twice. Potts 4 times. Gibbs once, and Will Coxon 4 times. Eagles have littered the base paths. 1 strike pitch. Jackson bounces it off the plate, foul backwards, 0-2. And what's crazy to think about, too, is this game started as clean as you could get. Both pitchers throwing 10 pitches in the first inning, retiring the sides in order. Scoreless through 1. Weaver hit a solo shot to start the second to open the scoring for Mars Hill. Eagles scored 4 times in the second and haven't looked back since, scoring in every inning. Nothing into the count, the pitch. Jackson dribbles it back up the middle. It splits the middle infield, backhanded by Weaver to keep it on the infield, but that'll be an infield single and an RBI for Jackson. And Carson-Newman has matched its largest lead of the day at 6 with an RBI infield single from Henry Jackson. And here comes Zach Honeycutt out of the dugout, and it appears as if they're going to make another pitching change. And we'll see who it is. Tell you about it when we come back. Carson-Newman leads it by a score of 13-7 here on the Eagle Sports Network.
The #1 source for Carson-Newman athletics gear, shopseeandeagles.com, where you can find gear from Adidas, Columbia, Nike, and Under Armour. Shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, shorts, pants, hats, and scarves. ShopSeeingEagles.com is your source for everything CN. You can even show your school spirit on your smartphone or tablet. All of your game day essentials can be found in one place. ShopSeeingEagles.com.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City has deals for Carson-Newman students. Bring in your valid student ID when you order for pickup or delivery, and Domino's in Jefferson City will give you a steaming hot large 1-topping pizza for $4.99. That's a large 1-topping pizza for Carson-Newman students for $4.99 at Domino's in Jeff City. Call 865-471-6700 to order. That's 865-471-6700. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
With AEC's You Save Advantage program, take advantage and upgrade your home to save on energy. Eliminate large upfront investments and allow energy savings to provide the payments for energy upgrades on your bill. An AEC certified energy inspector visits your home to determine the options for energy efficiency. Then AEC installs the new energy efficiency measures and recovers its cost with a charge on your electric bill. Contact AEC today to start saving. AEC, we're power with purpose.
Out of Tampa, Florida, Donald Gorgie is the new pitcher for Mars Hill, making his career debut with 1 out. And the bases loaded with Carson-Newman leading at 13-7 in the bottom of the 8th. Eagles have scored for a 7th consecutive inning. And Dalton McLean stands in, has been aboard twice in the game. And the rookie right-hander ready to unfurl his first pitch of his career. Here it is. McLean takes up and in for ball one. Carson-Newman will get a good test this weekend at USC Aiken. Always a solid program. A bunch of the meetings early on in that matchup had USC Aiken in the top 20 in the country. The 1-0 downstairs, 2-0. And the Eagles will get one of the several weeks this year where they have multiple midweek games. Milligan on Tuesday, then the short trek down to take on Tusculum on Wednesday. Before a road trip to West Georgia. 2-0. McLean bounces it third base side. Diving effort by Sykes, but he's in foul ground when he makes the play. Really good play by Sykes. But it's a foul ball. And it counts for 2 balls and 1 strike. Carson-Newman, 28 wins last year. 7th consecutive winning campaign. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Bases loaded, the pitch. Misses downstairs, 3-1. Walks have just plagued this Mars Hill team, particularly in the last several innings. They've walked multiple batters now in 4 of the last 6 innings. 3-1 the count with the bases juiced. Gorgie pitches, and he misses downstairs for ball 4. And that walks in a run. Carson-Newman has its largest lead of the day now, as they've scored 5 unanswered runs. So base on balls to McLean. Jackson to second. Will Cox into third. And Potts in to score. And that's an easy RBI for McLean. So here comes Mitchell Ballant. Base is juiced and 1 out. And the right-hander pitches, and Ballant swings and pops it up. Right side of the infield. Weaver circling onto the infield dirt. Now backs up and makes the grab. So on 1 pitch, Ballant retired, and here comes Zach Bose. Carson-Newman leads 14-7 here in the bottom of the 8th. And Bose has had a loud day. 2 homers, 4 RBIs in the game. And he has looked to swing the bat early in counts. Bases juice, lead is 7. Gorgie ready to go. He pitches, and Bose takes a breaking ball down. 1-0. Bose had a multi-homer game last year. Trying to do it again here on opening day with perhaps 3, as he's got 2 so far. Right-hand pitcher ready to go. The 1-0 pitch. This is down and in. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, as far back as our records go, no Carson-Newman hitter has had 3 homers in 1 game. Matt Parkinson had 2 solo shots at Young Harris in late April last season. 2 balls, no strikes. Gorgie ready. He pitches. And a swing and a miss. Bose chased the high fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bases loaded. Carson-Newman 14. Mars Hill 7. And here comes the pitch from the 2-1, and it's fouled straight back to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carson-Newman, 2 more runs. This is the 4th inning in this game. The Eagles have put up multiple runs. Gorgie ready to go. And here comes the pitch on the way, and it's a fastball well up and away. Running the count full at 3-2. Gorgie sighting the sign. Runners take off. The pitch is a swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that ends the inning. So pretty good work right there by Gorgie. Is Bose down swinging. So he will not have the ability to hit 3 in 1 game. But Carson-Newman in control. The lead is 7. 14-7. To the 9th we go. Hayes Naren, Lathe, due up for the Lions as Carson-Newman leads it 14-7 here on the Eagle Sports Network.
At InterDigital, we strive to be a leading provider of cutting-edge digital and marketing solutions. At InterDigital, we want to help our clients find success. Our team of technology gurus work together to ensure InterDigital continues to progress forward as technology advances. At InterDigital, we make technology work for you. Visit interdigital.com for IT support, web development, virtual tours, graphic design, internet marketing, mobile app, and film production services.
InterDigital, laser focused on your success.
Serving East Tennessee for 40 years, Magaha Electric is the perfect choice for all your electrical projects. Magaha Electric specializes in commercial, retail, manufacturing, residential, and industrial contracting needs. Magaha Electric can provide superior service, technical know-how, and realistic budgeting for any size project in a timely, cost-effective manner. Visit MagahaElectric.com for all your electrical contracting needs. Magaha Electric, your East Tennessee electrical contracting source.
Carson-Newman makes one change defensively as Spencer Bright takes over behind the plate. And Hunter Harrington back out to work, and his first pitch is in there for a strike to Luke Hayes. Although it's a 7-run game, Harrington tried to pin down the save. The 0-1. High pop-up on the infield. Let's see who takes charge here. Denton calls for it. The first baseman on the grass towards second base. Leans back and makes the catch. That's exactly what you want from your corner infielders. Loud voice, take charge, and there's one away. Now here's Alex Naren. Naren, a walk in 2 straight at-bats prior to a strikeout his last time up as Harrington misses here with a breaking ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. And it's grounded back up the middle. To his left goes Gibson. He picks it up, throws it over to first base. And Waters Hill down to its final out. Slick play right there by Gibson. Routine play. Right-hand pitcher, right-hand batter. Last chance here as Jordan Lathe swings and misses. 1 strike and nothing with 2 outs. Harrington pitches. And here's a line drive into left center field that's going to split the gap and roll to the fence. Picked up by Potts into second base. Lathe, he's in there just safely. And he thought about second right out of the gates, and the Eagles nearly got him as Potts got it back in quickly. So here's Zach Weaver. He's had himself a day at the plate. A triple shy of the cycle. The pitch is a breaking ball high and tight for ball 1. Right-hand pitcher and the right-hand batter. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch is a swing and a miss. 1-1. Here's the pitch. That misses down and away. 2 balls and a strike. Harrington working out of the stretch. Carson-Newman leading it by 7, 14-7. And Weaver fouls the 2-1 straight back. It's 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes in a 14-7 game. Harrington ready in the pitch. Misses down and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Running around at second base and a payoff pitch coming to Weaver. First base is open. But in a 7-run game, let's see if Harrington attacks. The payoff. He does. Weaver cannot check his swing. There is strike 3, and a big punctuation mark to the start of the season. Carson-Newman's offense puts up 14 runs, and the Eagles take out the Lions for a 6th straight meeting. Carson-Newman wins a home opener for an 11th year in a row. The final score from Mossy Creek, Carson-Newman 14, Mars Hill 7. The Eagles 1-0 to start the year, and a fine showing by Tom Griffin's crew. The Eagles get the victory, and that wraps things up for us here. We're about an hour away from the AAC Countdown to tip-off as Carson-Newman women's basketball takes on Lincoln Memorial. We'll talk to you again in about an hour from Holt Fieldhouse as Carson-Newman wins this game. The final score, 14-7. Eagles back in action this weekend against USC Aiken. For our entire crew here today, Gary LaPrairie running the camera, Danny Wazorek and Ian Johnson back behind the scenes. I'm Michael Watring signing off. We'll talk to you again down the line. Eagles win it 14-7 here on the Eagle Sports Network.